There he is. What's up, Julian? All right. We have so many questions tonight. It's actually exhausting and irritating.
You mean exciting? The word you meant was exciting.
Very excited for all these questions. You guys are really great.
Your eyes look tired.
Now.
Doing well. Back on the Truly Express.
False.
White Claw. Oh, man.
I don't do the grocery shopping around this house, you know? I put in the requests. Sometimes the request is filled. Sometimes it is not.
No wonder why they won't sponsor us.
The slackers on this team.
We have we have so many questions tonight. Lots of big, good ones too. You guys did it. You guys get an A+ for the questions that came in tonight. So, all right, let's get going. Mail days. Do you have any mail days?
No, 0.
Okay. Well, guess what? My time to shine, baby. It's shining season out here. Bam.
Oh, that's neat. Is that like a gold vinyl, or is this like a one-of-one optic kind of thing?
That's a Spectra gold vinyl 1-of-1.
Ooh, those are cool.
They are cool. I have like 4 of these now. 2021 Spectra. And
they're kind of thick, right? They're like a little bit thicker.
Yep, they're a little bit thicker for sure. Thicker than normal cardstock. And shout out to Harden. Christina, on behalf of us, ordered 5 of the weekend cards, and they came. Or 5 boxes of the weekend cards, and they came. And so I'm going to take one out of the bubble mailer so that we can see what the box looks like. So here's what the box looks like. So Carvin, congrats. Working with one of the greatest pop artists ever. Congrats on the product commemorating it. And looking forward to maybe opening 2 and keeping 3 sealed. All right. Announcements. Do we have announcements beyond the fact that Showcase is now on mobile?
Yep, we have 1.
By the way, Showcase is now on mobile app. Nobody's found it, Adam, and I'm tasking you with it because you have a lot of influence and power in the hobby and in the world.
All right. Have you used this yet, Christopher?
Is this the, I guess that's not a good start if I don't even know what it is. Is this the new shop that with the save searches? Yes. Yes, I have.
Okay, so basically if you search something and then you add filters, there's this little save icon on the top right, and you can give it a name, you know, much like eBay or the apps, you know, where you're saving like a search so that you can reference it later. And then you just get a little drop down of all your saved searches. So I have my 4. I have LeBron, Gold Refractors, Chris Paul, Penny Hardaway, and Charizard. So I just click it, and then I get all the cards I need on shop, and I can just switch them. So this is my new routine. Like 3 or 4 times a day, I literally just like click my 4. It's way faster than eBay because eBay's like one constant stream, which is nice. Like maybe we could do like a stream of yours, but eBay's just slow. Our app's just faster. Just deal with it.
Best save search feature in the game, bar none.
Next is like, you know, when a new item pops into your save search, you get a notification or something. That's kind of the next level. I'm thinking through that one still. And yes, Showcase is live on mobile.
Live. All right. Any other announcements? No. Let's go to the questions. It's very intimidating and it's putting a lot of pressure on me thinking about how many questions we have. There's so many topics we have to go through. And you know what?
That's backwards.
And you know what? Nobody asked us for our Super Bowl picks. And I thought we'd been given pretty good picks for all the other weeks.
We have.
Okay.
I think we like nailed last week, right? Or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, we nailed it. All right, so what's your Super Bowl pick? Even though nobody cares, what's your Super Bowl pick?
My Super Bowl, I mean, maybe there's a reason people don't care. It's like all the drama's over and it's just now we like know and there's no more prospecting. It's like these are the guys. Yeah, we get it, you know. All right, my pick is the Rams. I'll give the points. I think it's -3.5. I think they'll win by more than 3.5. The Bengals haven't seen a defense like this. They haven't seen a player like Aaron Donald yet. and their offensive line is one of their weak points. And this Bengals defense, they've been skating by for a while. I think the Rams are ready to go nuts on them. So Rams.
All right. So in the spirit of making things interesting, I'll take the Bengals, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm low on the Rams because they were down 10 points at home to the San Francisco 49ers in the fourth quarter. You are not a good team if you find yourself in that predicament. So Rams are fake snake oil salesman material. Cooper Kupp is the most overrated athlete in the NFL. Joe Burrow and the Bengals are going to mop the floor with them. 2 touchdown plus victory spread for the Bengals.
Wow. Cooper Kupp got 1 MVP vote. 1.
Oh, who was it? Who was the courageous soul who voted for Cooper?
I don't get why those guys don't get more votes.
He won Offensive Player of the Year, though.
Yeah, I guess. Like basically, like MVP has turned into best quarterback of the year, and offensive player has turned into the best receiver, running back. Just call it what it is.
Let's just call it what it is, indeed.
2 touchdowns. Can I bet against you on that?
No, I'm not putting money on that.
I would love to bet against that.
I think the Rams are going to win as well, but I'm taking the other side for the purposes of making it interesting. But
And who doesn't want to watch Joey cigars at the end? Like he would have a great Super Bowl celebration.
He should have a cigar this long, ready to go if they win, and just sit at midfield and just puff the entire thing down. All right, first up on the agenda from the questions that have come in. I'm being accused of being a Joe Burrow pumper now. You guys want to hear a Joe Burrow pump artist? Log on to Clubhouse. There's quite a few these days. I don't own any Joe. Well, I do own a few Joe Burrow cards. It's like some prison base, so those are going to the moon. All right. We had a story, a big hobby story involving somebody materially close to us, which is the one and only Nat Turner. This topic got the most questions of any topic this week. So Bruin Killer says, let's please discuss the crazy, unbelievable Nat Turner story. Would you ever leave $1 million worth of cards in your car? So maybe you could fill in the audience on the basics of what this story was, and I'll show some pictures from Nat's Instagram, which Nat allowed us all to sort of live along with him this traumatic experience that had a happy ending.
Yeah, so I think I know the full story. He had a bunch of cards in a backpack in his car in a locked garage at his apartment near the office or something in California. He's traveling to California. Then it got broken into. The backpack was stolen. Other items were stolen. He, obviously was freaked out about that, called the police, got the police involved. And then then he himself was able to track down where it was because his iPad was also with them. So they tracked the iPad location, got the police involved. Police, I guess, ended up finding him at a different location. They followed the iPad, arrested him. They set up a blockade, it sounds like, or like a multi-car.
Just a shot from the scene.
Show the Tyler sports guy. Show Tyler's. You got to show that one.
Shout out to Lameme. Okay, yeah, and then we have a competing meme. Maybe you guys can vote on which meme is better. I'll go grab Tyler's real quick. I'm cracking up already thinking about it. All right. Here it is.
People want the ending. Hurry up, Chris.
Point of view, you just stole $1 million in cards from Nat Turner's gated community.
He posted like a spreadsheet of all the cards in there, and it was like 7 stories of spreadsheets of cards. There was so many, it was like boxes and boxes. And I was like, what kind of backpack is this, dude?
Dude, there were so many sick cards in that list. It was nauseating, to say the least.
So he ended up, so the police got the cards. He went into the department where the police station, and like they were all excited about it, took pictures, and so good, happy ending.
Very happy ending. And Nat demonstrated the type of vigilance that you really want to demonstrate. As soon as it happened, as soon as he found out about it, went straight to the authorities, filled them in on the whole thing, cooperated with them to the fullest extent possible, and they got a great resolution. So things aren't always bad Sometimes we get happy endings. So, here's the thing too. Nat left a lot of money. Is that? Oh, wait. Let me just pause for a second. Okay, sorry, Josh. You were on freeze for a second. Uh, the chat is observing that it's very rare to have anything get stolen and then found, which is true. We are happy to hear when something like that happens. So, but whether the cards were left locked in a car, inside of a locked garage, or in a house, they're not impervious from being taken. I guess maybe the safest place is a bank, a safety box, or maybe a 300+ pound safe within a house would be difficult to move. But cards, any physical item is vulnerable. Any digital item is as well. We actually have a question about that too. So, in that, I'm sure has insurance. The money can't replace the cards or the memories attached to them, but I have no doubt he was insured, and that's why we have insurance, is because bad things do happen once in a while. Shit happens. Okay. Mike Pinkerton says, "Hey Josh, this question's for you. Does Nat think that the thief was targeting him, or was it just someone random? I know he has a lot of very valuable cards." Yes, he does, Mike.
I don't know. I don't know if I didn't ask him that specific question. I mean, someone may have targeted the building, knowing people live there that have money or something. I don't know. I have no idea.
Slabs to Men says, in light of Nat's stolen cards being recovered with the help of his Find My Phone feature, will Find My Slab, will that be incorporated into PSA labels in the near future?
We're going to have what was that Apple thing you told me about? If we could make that tech a lot smaller and make them little stickers, basically sticker size, that would be great.
Apple AirTags. They cost about $30 a piece, and they're tracking devices which have been used for bad and good. They've been used apparently to stalk celebrities, and they've also been used to be placed inside of packages that are shipped across the country, so that if the Postal Service somehow loses it, you can trace exactly where it went and where it got off track. Apple AirTags, about $30 a piece. And shout out to Stiff Arm Wax for calling those out. And Bleeker says insurance can't find another green PMG Kevin Garnett. That's exactly right.
You almost want to put one of those AirTags in your backpack, just lock it up in a little corner of the backpack, and you'll never know necessarily when your backpack might get stolen or what's inside of it. But if you have one of those just sitting in your backpack at all times, it's ready to go.
Right on. All right, final question on this topic. This comes from Slabs for Hayes. This question made me laugh. He says, in light of what happened to Nat recently, isn't the apparent escalation of crime within the hobby troubling? And let's address that question first, because this is a two-parter. So is it troubling, Josh?
Well, of course. No, I mean, crime is troubling a lot more outside of cards than it is inside of cards as well.
Well said. And look, it's troubling, but it's also a consequence of the escalating values of cards that be correct crime. You're dealing with pieces of cardboard that are worth tens, hundreds, or thousands, even millions of dollars. All right, the second question that Slabs for Hayes sent in that gave me a chuckle. Is it possible that hobbyists, out of frustration or fear for their physical safety, will shift to digital collectibles?
It is easier to steal digital collectibles than physical. I don't understand this question.
I was like, what are you doing? Are you trolling me right now, bro?
Phishing attacks, hacking, social engineering. There's so many different things you can do. It's not just because it's on your computer doesn't mean that I can't get to it. It's actually easier to steal digital.
It's easier, right? So here's a little news story that I looked up that happened a few months ago. $2.2 million worth of Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs are stolen. The victim says the incident was the worst night of his life. Who wouldn't pay $2.2 million to have the rights to claim ownership over one of those JPEGs?
No. To claim ownership over the links to the JPEGs.
Over the link. That's right. I'm sorry. I'm such a noob and an idiot dinosaur. Okay, according to reports, roughly $2.2 million worth of Bored Ape and these NFTs were stolen. The owner said the incident was the worst night of his life. There's claims that the NFT marketplace OpenSea froze the collectibles. They're complaining about the lack of decentralization. All right, blah, blah, blah. I've been hacked. All my apes gone. Man.
So does he have to take down his Twitter profile pic then? Or how does that? I don't understand. I thought Twitter had it where like it verified. That'd be funny though if that feature worked really well. Right when they're stolen, his avatar just automatically updates to like a skull. Like a, something funny.
Yeah. So look, there's no, sometimes in life we seek this silver bullet solution, magic bullet. That's just the cure. Just, people are stealing cards and we'll just have digital collectibles. And no, those get stolen as well. The fact of the matter is, life does have risk, and you just have to pick and choose your battles. All right. Mike Pinkerton 50 with another high-ranking question this week. What do you think about the James Harden trade? I think he will kill the 76ers, says Mike.
Oh, I posted on my story. I thought this was actually like a pretty equal trade because my stance on that was because like Ben Simmons literally was not playing, and now like the Sixers are replacing someone not playing with someone that is playing. That's a win. Harden's going to play minutes and Simmons was not. And then the Nets were able to turn a disgruntled Harden into, I feel, 3 pretty solid pieces. Seth Curry's a great shooter. Andre Drummond is a really good backup for a big man, great rebounder. And we don't know necessarily what, obviously Simmons has the shooting woes, but he's really good at other stuff. And they don't need him to shoot. They've got Kyrie and Durant. So I think it's a pretty sweet match for both teams. I like the trade for both teams. I don't, you could bitch about it either way. And that's kind of the hot take world we live in, is like you got to pick sides and you got to say the crazy thing. I've seen people like dramatically be in favor of both of the sides. And I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. And what I found interesting about that trade and many of the blockbuster trades that happened, it was player initiated. So Ben Simmons was holding out and he forced that trade. And James Harden was loafing around and forced his way out of his second team in 2 years. And both of them had legitimate grievances. They're in Philadelphia, Ben Simmons kind of got thrown under the bus by organization, teammates, and coach. And maybe he deserved it, but he still has a legitimate grievance there. And then Harden, Kyrie not playing, Durant injured, no supporting cast to speak of for the most part, just having to once again carry a team when that was probably not what he was sold on. So legitimate grievances, the players forced their way out. It's really a league that a lot of the activity is being driven by players now.
Yep.
I find it interesting. Okay. Oh,
they have all the leverage, dude. They have all the leverage. They're the talent. Like that's
yes, they do.
Talent is what drives the entertainment industry.
100%. They do have the leverage. Lefko says, what happens when James Harden and the 76ers meet the Phoenix Suns in the NBA Finals? What happens to the James Harden card market? Is James Harden the next Matthew Stafford waiting to happen?
I don't think so. I think all these trades and all these moves really hurt his value. The Stafford one was different because it was like he stuck through the Lions thing like a lot longer than he could have or should have. And then the Rams made the initiation to kind of like come save him or whatever. And then he led them to a Super Bowl. This one is like Harden just keeps forcing his way out of places and it's getting a little bit awkward. I don't feel like they're the same.
Well, sorry to break that to you, Adam, because I know he's, as a 76ers fan, he's very hyped up.
I mean, dude, what I like about the trade for the Sixers is the ceiling for it is incredibly high. Like I said, they traded someone that wasn't playing for someone that's a MVP fairly recently. And so the ceiling is very, very high for the Nets. I mean, the Sixers, you got to be excited. As a fan, you've got to be excited. What else can you do,
Yeah, I agree. Christina drops a great factoid. The Brooklyn Big Three, the best theoretical Big Three ever, were 13 wins, 3 losses, and the only games they played together. They played 16 games together over a season and a half.
It's unbelievable.
Cards and Candy 911 says, if your PC player gets traded, will you continue collecting him on his new team?
That's a good question. I think so, yeah. I think so. Obviously, like, depends, but I think you would, yeah. I mean, would you keep collecting McCaffrey? I'm collecting Chris Paul, and none of the Chris Paul cards I have are in Suns jerseys.
I'm praying McCaffrey goes to a new team.
I mean, ultimately, you want to watch him win.
Oh, Christina does have a different take on this because Christina's side PC is actually kind of derived from the team that he plays for.
Yeah.
Maxey.
So I was so nervous on trade day because trade deadline day because there were rumors that like people wanted Maxey. And I was like, God damn it, I'm gonna have to watch double the games. Like I'm gonna have to start watching some team I don't like just to see Maxey play maybe 20 minutes. Like this is absurd. And then luckily he came out unscathed and untraded.
That's right. Oh.
It would be awkward, I'm not gonna lie. I would have to consider it.
Christina, do not look at the chat.
I'm only looking at the chat.
All right.
After the game last night, the Suns win another game. The national media still won't talk about the Suns, but whatever. They blew out the Bucks. They fucking killed them. They crushed them. I was looking at Mikal Bridges' cards this morning because I was like, that kid is good.
He is good.
His cards are cheap cards.
Yeah, dude, from that 2018 class as well. So
yeah,
I like
cool. I love
Mikal Bridges at the PC.
Yeah, he's he's obviously like, not gonna ever quite be a hobby stud or whatever because he's like the third or fourth best player on the team, but very important piece to that team.
Yeah, totally. All right, Drake's PC says you are both big on consolidation. Is the price of players you collect, like Jordan and LeBron, the main driver? Or else, what do you consider when the player you collect has a ton of rare and scarce cards? As a Peyton Manning collector, his rare and scarce cards are still affordable relative to other players, so I'm having a hard time thinking about consolidating because many cards I own I may never see again if I let them go.
Yeah, that last part's kind of the key for me is like you consolidate down to like the ultra rare stuff that you can never get back. I always consolidate out of stuff that, is like easier to get. But I thought about this question. We've answered the consolidation stuff so many times that I was trying to think of something creative to think of to say. And one thought I had was like, everyone that's not named Nat Turner is consolidating to some degree. Like basically none of us can afford every card. So like we have to make decisions on what to buy and what not to buy. So we have to consolidate. And it's just a matter of taste of how much you do want to consolidate, how many cards you want to have, how few high end versus middle end versus low end. It's just like a preference. On the Manning example though, I think you keep the rare stuff.
Yeah. I mean, consolidation is, like Josh said, it's always it's out of necessity. It's not by choice. Yeah, ideally you'd be able to get all the best cards of your favorite player. It's necessity that forces the hard choice. Do you want one really cool card or 5 pretty cool cards? It's basically the trade-off that we have to make. 23 over Elo. Love this question. 23 over Elo says, which content creator that is outside of the hobby has the greatest influence on the hobby? What's up, Carvin? Gave you a shout out, buddy.
Does it have to be like a traditional content creator, or can it be like someone who posts content online?
Dude, it could be any of the above, man. This is I love this question because it's so outside the box.
Yeah, my answer is I want to say Michael Jordan, but he's not on social media. So the answer is LeBron James.
Yeah. Okay. So, and what about if you can't choose an athlete though? Because like arguably an athlete is part of the hobby.
I thought the athlete answer was more creative than saying Gary Vee.
It is. It's a really good answer, but it's like a sneaky answer too.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really. I guess like Gary Vee or Patrick Bet David or whatever, like that guy. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, but they're kind of in the hobby though, right?
Then I'm not that creative on this one apparently. I don't know. Like, do you have something on that tip of your brain there?
No, I have a very boring answer, which is just like, podcasts, like sports related podcasts. Those are super influential on me. So like Bill Simmons would be, probably my vote, right?
He's like he goes to national. Yeah, he goes to national.
Yeah, he's in the freaking hobby too. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I say one?
If you must.
The Fed.
The Fed? Is the Fed, is that a content creator?
I got one.
The Federal Reserve?
Yeah.
I like it. That's a creative answer.
Like a talking head like Skip Bayless or Stephen A.
Yeah, dude. And the all of them put together, all the talking heads put together that shape the media narratives. They're definitely very influential. So I don't know, Christina. The Fed that's good. That's really good. The Fed does make content. They put out podcasts. They have quarterly reports.
Yeah. I mean, find content. Like, you're welcome. I just solved that question.
Nice job, Christina.
You guys thought it was a friggin' open-ended, no wrong answer, and I come up with the perfect right answer.
Oh, look at that. Christina with the good old double patting the back. All right.
Yep.
Corner Taken Quickly says, in a patch autograph card, how do you rank the importance of the three elements? The patch quality, the autograph quality, and the card's condition. And how big of a gap in importance is there between those three elements?
I think number one for me, I'll rate mine first. Autograph, most important, then grade, then patch. And probably like grade autograph and grade are, pretty far ahead of the patch being a distant third. But I mean.
Nice. I'm going to go auto, then patch, then card condition. That's the order I'm going to go on. So, yep, I'm going to go because like auto definitely, patch like a halfway good autograph is not going to cut it. The auto has to be really clean and bold and sharp. And you can get away with a halfway decent patch if it's still a really iconic card, and you can get away with piss poor condition if it's still a really iconic and important card. But you can't get away with the piss poor autograph, and you can't get away with the piss poor napkin patch, in my opinion. All right. KB Card Collector says, if you're considering a new PC player or set, do you start big and commit to it, or do you start small to try it out?
Start medium and try it out. Like something where you're not like diving all the way in, but it's not, it's not super low end where you're not really actually like ever giving it a fair shake. So there you go. Start middle.
Start middle.
Okay, so
split the difference.
I'm a start small. So my first card that I bought of Maxi Kleber was in 2019, and it was 2 rookie cards of his, and they were like unnumbered, ungraded. Let me see if I enjoy this. And then from there, it just spiraled.
There you go. So Christina with the start small. I've done both. And here's the difference. If you start big, it's exhilarating. It's pressure-filled. It's nerve-wracking. And if you start small, it's much more relaxing and more easy to enjoy. So, you start small, you just get a couple cards. It's just kind of there. Not as dynamic, not as many highs and lows. If you try to go for the big gusto, it can be really fun and exciting, but it can also be very deflating if it turns out that you can't get your biggest grails.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, Crypto Collects says, when you start a new PC, what do you do with your old PC?
Set it aside, look at it. I still add to my old PCs every once in a while. Keep them, I kind of like collect them all at the same time, I guess.
Couple guys in the chat said start with the 1 of 1, start with the parallels. So interesting advice there. Yeah, we don't get rid of our old PCs around here. Okay, Long Island Sports Card says, what Collector's Universe resource has been the single biggest asset to Card Ladder? Has it been money, people, technology, or something else?
Well, I don't have any people I've added yet, so I'll say technology and let you take the people one. Some of like the APIs and the data that PSA and Collectors Universe has been really helpful for me on the tech side. So tech.
Great. Yeah, it's been all three. It's certainly been all three, but yeah, I'll go with people. It's been amazing working with some of the great people there so far on a lot of different projects that we've had the opportunity to undertake. And right now, Christine and I have been working with 5 new researchers that we've been doing multiple classes with every week for 2 weeks now, and really starting to like these guys and welcome them into the fold. I'm very impressed by what they've been bringing to the table. So at the end of the day, people like almost always carries the day, I think, because at the end of the day, it's the people that are, you know, the ultimate core of a business, like with Card Ladder. So
yeah, bad people like make all the difference.
yeah. So when we bring these research into the fold, and then they get to finally meet the big man on campus, Josh, then Josh too can celebrate.
There we go. I'm
The
just excited about the when I log in and I see the, like, you know, the progress in the add cards section. I get very excited knowing that there's going to be a flood of new stuff to look at.
Yes, there is. Hey, Christina, a question from the chat. How's training going? Is Christina a tough teacher?
I wouldn't say I'm a tough teacher. I have high expectations because I know people can deliver up to them.
Yeah.
So
Christina's quite nice in the classroom setting. Much nicer than on, say, Clubhouse.
I'm not as disrespectful when I'm training people on new things. I think that's the answer you're looking for.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, professional environment.
Exactly.
All right, McGrath Card says, I love the continual education in the hobby.
You see David?
No, what did David say?
I see Chris and Christina doing a good cop, bad cop routine in class.
All right. McGrath continues, I've recently been going down a rabbit hole of 1990s and 2000s Upper Deck football products as a Peyton Manning collector. Since there is no apparent resource that stack ranks the Upper Deck products, I have two questions for you. So let's take them one at a time. The first question is, what is the education evolution that you go through to learn about a brand, product, or set?
It's usually just like discovering the cards that are in it and like what they look like. Honestly, it's just a matter of like seeing what they look like and which ones resonate with me visually. And then the next evolution is like, you know, understanding the history, the time of release, the price point of release, you know, of the wax, you know, where does it rank amongst the other sets around it in that year to get a gauge for like historical significance, you know? Like,
Yep.
If you're researching something and it was like a really low end product back in the day, you know, it's a little bit harder for it to overcome that going forward. You know, 90s is able to overcome that with like a lot of those old hoop sets and like the really fun inserts and parallels from hoops and stuff. But for the most part, you know, the set it comes from is important. So can't really think of anything else, you know. Maybe like then the next is like the price points, the historical values, and determining when the prices started to jump on some of that stuff and why and stuff like that.
Totally agree. I think you can do a lot of damage research-wise by, number one, just looking up checklists, whether it's on Trading Card Database or Cardboard Connection or some other source that has checklists like the PSA population reports. And then number two, if I may shill for Card Ladder for just a moment, using a feature like the sales history feature or the Card Ladder library of card profiles that we've built out, there's so much information embedded in a single price point. A single price point for a card tells you relationally where that card sits in terms of consumer preferences when it comes to buying cards. So a price point in relation to other cards that are comparable price points teaches you a ton about where that product ranks in terms of when people have to speak with their wallets. So a price point is this information-rich data point. It's just a few numbers put together, but it represents so much more when it's understood in the greater context. So price points and checklists, you can do a lot of damage just starting with those two. Oh, and McGrath's second question was, what are your favorite products that Upper Deck has produced?
I mean, obviously Exquisite is probably my favorite. I really like SP Authentic, like especially for football. SP Authentic is really sweet in football. You know, you've got the true RPA and SP Authentic, even in some cases like for Rodgers and Fitzgerald in the older years. And then I really like Upper Deck's SP Authentic sets where there's no patch and it's just the autograph. They usually have really nice looking cards. I'm thinking of a lot of Manning cards specifically. Those are the two I'll say.
Right on. I have nothing to add to that. Excellent. All right, One Up Collectibles says, what would it take for the Luca market to get back to its previous highs? Because as we know, the Luca market has been dipping this season. What do you think?
That's tough, man. I was thinking about this for another question, but like one of the main drivers of a card's value sort of maintaining or going up is like just the amount of people invested in it. And there's just a lot of like momentum and investment behind Luca early. So that's why like it's going to be hard for his stuff to just completely just, crater and come all the way down to where it was as, when he was a rookie. But going back the other way, I think it's going to be tough, dude. Like there's not that many events that can occur for him to like really get people super excited short of like, these 50-point burgers in the playoffs to win championships. And that's going to be tough to do with his roster. So I don't know, man. I hate to say like, he's going to have to go through the LeBron thing where he might have to struggle for a few years and then like figure out what's next for him and get some rings and then, come back and win one on his own kind of thing. It's tough, dude. It's really hard. Only one team wins. There's 30 teams. It's a little bit, it's hard. You're not guaranteed a ring, man.
Yep, it's super hard. But I'll give an answer because I thought about this question a bit, and I agree with everything Josh said. The answer is the NBA's Joe Burrow. That's what will drive up all the players in the NBA, not just Luca, but it'll rise many tides. That tide will rise many boats. Look at what Joe Burrow's doing to the whole NFL market by being this incredible Cinderella story in his second year, his first full year, going to the Super Bowl. Justin Herbert prices are going up right now. Why the hell are Justin Herbert prices going up? Justin Herbert is 14-16. He's never even made the playoffs. And Justin Herbert prices are going up right now. Patrick Mahomes prices have to be looking pretty salivating when you're comparing the guy who's gone to 4 straight AFC title games, 2 Super Bowls, and won one of them, plus an MVP and an Offensive Player of the Year award in the same season. That guy's prices have to look pretty salivating when Joe Burrow is getting close to him. Okay, so that's what it's going to take. It's going to need in the NBA. There needs to be another younger guy whose prices explode and that makes everybody else seem like a bargain by comparison. That's one way for it to happen. And, Ja Morant might do that. Ja Morant could be a catalyst that rises all boats in the basketball card hobby.
Zion back too.
Zion could be a catalyst for that stuff as well. All right. Also, this kind of speaks to a question we have coming a little bit later from Cards and Candy. Let me see if I can just jump to it. Here it is. Cards and Candy says, will we see the NBA market turn around once the Super Bowl ends? So this question is speaking to the macro. If the basketball card market as a whole starts pulling in more hobby money and hobby attention, that's probably going to affect most players in the hobby. Do you want to add anything to that about the possibility of the NBA market heating up once the Super Bowl's over?
Yeah, I think the bigger name guys will start to heat up, and the rookies and younger players will cool off like it does usually most years. And obviously, like football ending and stuff, basketball always takes a dip like in the holiday season, and then until football's over. So I mean, traditionally, yeah.
Totally. Collectogram says LaMelo Ball is the youngest All-Star since LeBron. Let's talk about this. Does the fact that he's an injury replacement add an asterisk to this designation?
Nope.
No, it doesn't. Nobody remembers whether or not he was an injury replacement.
Definitely not. Nope. Same for we talked about this maybe 2 weeks ago, but it was like the only real designation where this matters is like the All-Pro or the All-NBA, like first, second, third. That usually sticks out, but like the starters and the replacements and all that for All-Star, you just get that flat All-Star nod, and it'll end up counting for you.
Yep. I think that was a great break that LaMelo Ball caught because somebody from that Charlotte's team deserved to make the All-Star game. They're a playoff team. They've got good players on that team. Miles Bridges and LaMelo are the 2 best players probably on that team. Somebody deserved to make it. LaMelo ended up being the one, although you could make a case for Miles Bridges as well. So glad he made it. Good for the hobby that he made it. Good for the rising young stars of the sport that he made it. And just BCW Card Breaks in general says, what do you think about – do you have any thoughts about the upcoming All-Star weekend? Any thoughts about Kevin Durant openly making fun of James Harden?
Well, I was gonna say that, but also Kevin Durant should never be a GM because he is terrible at these drafts. Like I was looking at the LeBron team and I was like, he's got Luca, he's got Giannis, he's got Jokic. Like, is there anybody left for Durant?
Oh man, I can't believe how did he get fleeced like this?
I think he just like.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to click that.
I think Durant Durant really likes to like go on his own path, and he really likes to be different. So he's just like picking guys that maybe the media doesn't like or whatever. He's picking the Trae Youngs and the Embiids and the James Hardens. Oh, so the James Harden one was funny. Did you see that on TV where Barkley was like, "Hey, LeBron, don't take Harden so that Durant's forced to pick between him and Gobert," and, like openly talking about that. And then he takes who did he pick instead? I forget who LeBron picked, but then immediately like LeBron like put something over his face and he starts laughing.
It was Gobert or Harden.
Well, LeBron picked somebody before that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't
to
remember.
Force Durant to not pick Harden.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember who it was. All right, want me to show these teams? So we're obviously on Team LeBron because there's LeBron, and then there's Chris Paul, and then there's Luca. So we like Team LeBron.
They have like the two best PER players of all time: Steph Curry, Chris Paul, Hall of Famer, Luca, one of the best young players. Like, they're just loaded. I mean, the other team's obviously good because all these guys are all stars and they're good. But like relatively speaking, you know, this is okay. So which team got Andrew Wiggins as their starter? That's really the question.
This team, I hate this team.
Also,
Gobert was a starter.
Rudy Gobert is not a starter.
Oh.
Durant's not playing. Draymond Green is not playing. They got the replacement with LaMelo Ball. Like DeJounte Murray, I didn't even know he was in the All-Star game. Andrew Wiggins shouldn't have even made the team at all. Like this team is clearly worse.
This team sucks. I'm going to be rooting against this team so hard.
Dude, all of our favorite players are on the other team.
Yes, it's the good guys versus the bad guys. All right. Ryan Rudzan says, if you successfully cross a BGS 9.5 to a PSA 10, how would you update your collection to show it? And I think he's talking about his card ladder collection.
Yeah, we just added a feature to help for this situation. I'm very excited that this question has come up. If you go to the collection value or go to the card, edit the card, obviously update your picture, update the grade, and then what you can do is go to, if you click on the menu and you click estimate value, go to advanced, and it'll let you pin the value to some other card other than your own purchase price, because now that the card is different than what you purchased it, you don't want to pin the value to your purchase price anymore. So pick something else, go search the sales history, find another comp. And that's the best way to cover that case. It's actually pretty slick.
It is. And replace the photo as well, right? And then use the card notes section, the card details section where you can like write little notes to yourself. I use that on all of my cards in my card ladder collection. Use that little card notes box to just tell yourself this is when I crossed it, and tell this brief background of the card. Nice looking cardboard says, what's a favorite fun insert of yours that you like? It can be from any era that's not considered a big boy that just makes you smile.
Cut above for the millionth time.
That's a big boy, though. Think about
That's
a smaller one.
That's not a big boy.
It's a big boy. Cut above, like some of those are in the 5-figure range now.
Yeah, I guess. I've always liked the hoops. I guess it's more of a parallel, but I think it's an insert though. The high voltage 500.
That's a big boy too. HP 500 is like grail status for some people.
Well, I don't want these cheap inserts. I don't let them get me going.
That's the whole point. You have to name a cheap one that you like.
Well, I don't like any of the Panini inserts, so get over it.
Well, I'll go with Power and the Key because I don't think any of those have made it to 5 figures yet, and you can get the commons for super cheap. And it's just nostalgic. It's the first, all foil insert, arena design, 1993-94 Ultra. I'll go with that one.
Linchpins. Thank you. Linchpins. Thank you, Chad. Is that a big boy too?
These are in the Michael Jordan card collecting community. Linchpins, HP 500, and a cut above are all like grails. Okay?
Well, every card that Jordan is expensive, so yeah, of course. I only collect like Antoine Walker. They're cheaper.
There you go. All right. And Intense is getting some love in the chat as well. Okay. Venezuelan League Stickers says, please discuss the $33,000 raw Ken Griffey parallel that was shipped from eBay and CGC Authenticators that arrived with Joey Peapod hanging out of its holder. Do you know what the question is referring to?
Yep, I saw the picture.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull up a visual for it.
Because it's okay. They're third-party authenticators.
I don't think maybe it's under his videos. Oh yeah, here we go. So Joey Peapod, one of the GOAT Ken Griffey collectors, showed that he bought a $33,000 raw Ken Griffey Jr. card on eBay, and it showed up in, disarray inside of eBay's admittedly really nice looking packaging. But it showed up in disarray. It wasn't properly bundled, and it made people get a little bit worried because that's a $33,000 card, and if it's if it's shifting around or a corner is tucked under one of these flaps improperly, it can actually damage the card. So what do we think about this?
I mean, it's obviously really bad. I feel like we would have seen a lot more of this though if it was happening, across the board. So hopefully this is like kind of more of a one-off. But it's really shitty one-off to have it on a really, really high-end card. So that sucks.
Yep. Yes, it does.
Like most look like that. Most of them were like the other one, right?
Yes. So he had already, I guess, opened it and taken it out, and then he was just kind of like showing, re-showing kind of how it worked. And like, look, people just want to get their cards in great condition. And like, I'm sure eBay is here. Oh, I'm sure eBay is hearing about this, and they are going to be very responsive. I have no doubt about that.
The issue for me is that like a lot of these like ideas and these features and these products that are being released are not led by card people. So like the actual condition and the card itself are like in a lot of these cases treated as secondary to like the packaging or the display and the fluff around it. And that's what kind of is annoying is that's like, dude, you can make all the packaging you want, you can like do this guarantee stuff, like just only do that if you're going to actually make the card delivery to me and the condition perfect. If that's done, sure, start to add some of this other fluff, but like we can't get away from the main focus.
Right on. MJ Collector 1 million says high-end Michael Jordans going to PCs, never to be seen again. Will the mid-range Michael Jordan cards follow suit as time goes on? And is the same trend true for other sectors of the hobby?
Will they follow suit? You mean like they have already, dude?
They sure have.
I saw another question that you got, which was like, when are cards going to go up in value? And I'm like, where have you been? Like, what? It was like, when's the high-end market going to jump? Like, what? Bro, like, go to Card Ladder. Every graph is like up and right, big time.
Yeah, so I think that's the short and sweet answer to that. Especially like, as high-end cards disappear and people have to compete more intensely for the mid-range cards, it just drives up the price of the mid-range cards. And then when those cards get to a certain price level, like, it just somehow makes them more desirable. And when they become like so valuable and so coveted, people just want to put them away and they don't want to let them go anymore. So I think it is kind of a natural process.
You want proof to my answer? I said like mid-range inserts and you're telling me they're grails now.
They are. They are. They definitely are. Indeed.
But they were not always.
Not even close.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, yes, the answer is it's already happened, guys.
Northwoods Card Collector says, what is the biggest thing for you when walking up to a booth at a show that you hate to see? And what's the things that you love to see?
I hate to see, like, disorganization or, like, looking like you have put no thought into your showcase. You just sort of, like, chuck stuff out. And I also don't like to see no price tags. That kind of annoys me. Like, I don't know. I get that like some stuff, is super rare and you don't want to put a price on it, but I guess just like the thought behind your showcase and how you want it to be displayed. And what I love to see, cards.
Yeah, that's the love to see part's easy. Something that I hate to see is walking up to a booth or a display, especially if it's like lots of cards in the display, especially if there's lots of nice cards in the display, and there's maybe only one or two people overseeing the display and they're both like distracted talking to people. It just makes me nervous. I worry about the welfare of those cards that are sitting in those displays, and I just wish that somebody would keep a watchful eye on those displays at all times. So that's the one thing, is like a distracted dealer makes me a little bit nervous.
It's hard not to be distracted.
Yeah, I know it is.
No, but I've done things where if I've been at a show and someone's acting sketchy and the dealer's not paying attention, like I'll step up to
Yep.
the table and just like stare at the person
Yep.
and be like, I'm watching you, dude. Like even if he's not watching you for his cards, like someone is watching you.
All right, that's great. Help out.
She
help
definitely
out.
does that. She does it. She does it with me. Like if I feel nervous, she can like tell that I'm nervous. Christina does this, and I'm like, I'm feeling uneasy or something, and she's like, I'm watching your cards. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Like
Yep.
you're there watching.
Yeah.
All right. Preston's card says, what will happen to Matt Stafford cards, Joe Burrow cards, Jamar Chase cards, and Cooper Kupp cards when the Bengals or the Rams inevitably win the Super Bowl on Sunday?
I mean, I said a little bit earlier, I think the prospecting is kind of over. Like they're already in this game. I think at this point it's really like, does someone have a majorly unexpected thing happen? Like, Kupp has 4 touchdowns and wins the MVP, or Donald has like 6 sacks and just completely wrecks the game. Like it's something like that. I think other than that, I feel like it's, I don't know that it's going to change it too much, because I mean, it's still just one game. And like I said, a lot of the prospecting is towards getting to the Super Bowl, and then some of that fades away.
Indeed. Mad City Collector says, what's the most interesting thing that you have learned about the hobby recently that you didn't already know? Or something you learned recently that has piqued your interest?
I went through all the questions because I like to be prepared, and this is the one where I was like, I'll come back to this. I'll think of something later.
But this one had a lot of likes. This one had maybe the most likes of any of the questions posted.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't have anything good for this at all, so I'm hoping you something here quickly. Chad.
Let's see if
That's right. Chad, what have you guys learned recently about the hobby that's fun and exciting for you guys? I'll give something. I think marble cards are cool. I had no idea about these cards until we started adding them to Card Ladder. By the way, shout out to our competitor who right after we added them all went right ahead and copied exactly what we did and added the exact same cards, and then copied our social media post, and 6 hours later made a nearly identical social media post copying exactly what we did. Shout out to you. So marble cards. I loved learning about marble cards. The product was so interesting. The 2013 Fleer Retro Marble. It has jambalaya. It has championship hardware insert. It has PMG greens, reds, and blues. It was just a really cool product to learn about. It actually got my collector juices flowing learning about it.
They do. The one thing I've always disliked about 2013 Retro is that it's like college jerseys and stuff. But for Marvel, it's not that. So they actually do stand out and they look kind of cool.
Right on. Right on, Zablo. If that is Mark operating that account.
I'll take your word for it. I don't look at their content, so I'll take your word for that.
Yeah. Okay. Christina, do you have anything that you want to talk about as piquing your interest?
There's an entire, I kind of knew this, but I didn't really, know it.
She's got her hand going like this.
Stop it, okay? I'm Italian-American. I do that sometimes. There's an entire community of rainbow collectors, and they've been very, open to receiving me as a new rainbow collector. And I've been pulled into this awesome sub-community within the hobby. And, they have lists of, cards to look out for each other. And it's just been really fun to learn that side of the hobby that I'd never been inducted into before.
Nice. Also, Christina learned this, but taught it to me. 1987 Fleer basketball PSA 10s. There's some that some guy, like a Pop 9 guy, sold for $7,500. I forget his name, Liston or something.
I think it was Liston.
And it's so cool to me that there are people set collecting second year Fleer basketball.
Yeah.
Liston.
Alton Lister.
Lister.
Alton Lister. Card number 64 is a Pop 9, is a PSA 10. Sold for $7,500 this week. I love what's happening with that 1987 set. Okay. Where am I? Okay, one of we says, in 20 years, what current card would you want as a realistic option for a buyback? So, what's one current card today that you would like to see be a buyback in 20 years? You know why I love this question? We as collectors spend a lot of time looking backwards or focusing on the present. And we could look back 20, 40, 60, 80 years, no problem. But we very rarely look into the future and think about how will today's cards be received in 20 years. So I like this question. What do you say? What's a current card that you'd like to see be a buyback?
I'm trying to think of something that's like kind of plain, because I feel like when you do a buyback auto or something, or a buyback, if the card is already like very standalone, very nice looking, it kind of, kind of loses some of the need for the buyback. I just like I'm trying to think of like a paper. I think something simple, like even like a Donruss card that could be autographed. It could be turned into like a hand serial numbered autograph card or something. Some like Luca Donruss rookie or something like that.
I love that. And, as soon as you said paper, I thought contenders. And then as soon as I thought contenders, I thought cracked ice. And then, those are super rare. So it might be cool. Well, I guess those are already autographed for most players.
Net Marvels.
Bets or something.
Net Marvels. That's a great example.
Net Marvels. Oh, yeah. That's the winner. Net Marvels for sure.
Paper, no auto. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Trading Card Brothers says, if LeBron James somehow squeaks out a championship this year, will he then be considered the GOAT?
If he wins the championship this year, mean, shit, dude. It's not even, dude, it's like, I would really love it if I could just blame Westbrook, but I can't. He didn't play, and they lost the fucking Trailblazers at home, and the Blazers traded away their whole team.
Yeah. One of my cronies named Big Rang told me that Colin Cowherd mentioned that Russell Westbrook is one of the few guys on that team who actually plays his ass off every night. And so,
correct.
Maybe it's not him. Maybe it's roster construction. Maybe it's the coach. Maybe. I don't know.
Dude, you want a stat? I'll give you a stat. Russell Westbrook has a higher field goal percentage this season than Steph Curry and James Harden.
But I thought he's this terrible shooter, and so
he is a terrible shooter, but he just doesn't shoot that much. So it's his percentage is a little bit higher. When he does shoot, it's bad. It's a brick.
One thing I'll never forget about Russell Westbrook. Michael Jordan named Russell Westbrook as one of his favorite active players years ago, and he said the main reason is because of how hard the guy plays. So, if nothing else, Russell Westbrook is giving it his all. And like you said, like he sat out a game finally. First game he sat out this year, and it didn't seem to make a big difference.
And dude, like the parallels to Allen Iverson are so insane to me. Like he's in the Denver Nuggets part of his career for Iverson. People hated Allen Iverson when he played for the Nuggets. They blamed him for everything, that he couldn't get Carmelo over the hump. It was all Allen Iverson's fault. And now, today, people love collecting Allen Iverson. I'm telling you guys, if you have Westbrook stuff, you're worried about it, just, it might take a long time, but like the Russell Westbrook love will eventually come around.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook averaged 32 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists for an entire season.
Nuts.
Okay, that's just I'll just put that out there. All right, and won an MVP while doing it. Okay, Stacking Gems says, do you think we are currently witnessing a junk slab era? Millions of slabs are coming back.
Oh yeah, we definitely are. I mean, we said this like 6 months ago. I think we've been building up to this.
We sure did, and here's what I'll say. Not only do I think we are witnessing it, and the hobby has very nimbly pivoted and adjusted to it and has shifted into collecting other cards that have known quantities and limited print runs and, great aesthetics. So there's been a pivot away from base cards because I think maybe the total population was just not quite known. But I still want to tip the hat to base cards. Base cards are still cool. Building sets is still cool. And owning a PSA 10 from a premium brand base card of your favorite player is still pretty cool in my book. All right. So I'm not anti-base card. I just think we put the horse before the cart. I'm sorry, we put the cart before the horse when it came to base cards over the last year or two.
We do it the right way. We put the horse before the cart. We do it right.
We want to put the horse before the cart here.
Lots of base cards. I have binders full of base cards. I like them still.
Definitely. Naz Production says, how hyped are you for Skybox Metal Goodwin Champions? Are you super familiar? I know you were talking to Gene of Arena Design about this a little bit, but this was over the national. Are you up to speed on the Skybox Metal Goodwin Champions product?
I remember her showing it to me, and I think we looked at it maybe once on this show. But I would need to like refresh myself. Is it coming out soon?
Yep, I need to refresh myself on it as well. It was supposed to come out last year, but hopefully it comes out soon. They've got MJ PMG greens. It's been a while since one of those popped out. They got platinum portraits in there. At a glance, set size 150. Target release is January 2020, but it still has not come out yet, so it must be coming out soon. So yeah,
January 2022.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did I say?
January 2020.
January 2022 is the target release, but that month came and passed.
Yeah.
So hopefully it does come out soon. I'll be buying a box of this stuff just to support Arena, if for no other reason.
Yeah. No, I'm excited about it. She actually showed us all pictures on her phone at the National of her designs for the cards. And what's really cool is that for some of them, she actually got permission from the Hubble telescope to use their images in the background. So, like, I'm really excited. Like, she always brings technology and art and, like, sports together. And I'm really excited to see what Arena Designs has in store for us.
You win if you add Hubble telescope on your bingo slide for tonight's crossover. Shout out to the Hubble telescope. All right. WTF Frankie podcast says, if grading companies like BGS, PSA, SGC, and CSG authenticate and grade backdoor or bankruptcy copies of super rare cards from the 90s, such as cards that are supposed to be numbered but lack the serial number, does this actually make these cards legitimate for sale?
Nope.
Why not?
Because the hobby rejects this. We talked about this last week. These cards have no place amongst hobbyists and collectors. No.
Indeed. Although,
plus, they're slabbing them as like that stupid slam bams that's not serial numbered.
the hole punch.
BGS slabs them. God, I hate that. It shows up on Probe Scene like cheaper every day.
Yeah.
They just have like the stupid BGS blue Authentics labels anyways. Don't even look at that stuff.
Bleaker
I need a beanie. Dude, when he was doing that Harden thing, he like picked Gobert and he was like, I feel like the guy has just like, he just sucks. Kevin Durant just sucks.
Oh, but he is good, man. I do like how raw he is on TV when they're just like, would you like to comment on your recovery? No.
Just have a little bit of fun. Like, come on. His job is literally entertainment. Like, be a little more entertaining. Please, just try.
He could BS a bit, and be like, well, it's come along pretty well.
He could like actually make a joke or something. Like, instead he's just like, it's like he's mad at the reporter. He's like mad at everybody or something. I don't know what he's mad about.
He does come off as upset. That
like the whole purpose of the NBA is about entertainment, and there's multiple facets to that entertainment. There's the media coverage, there's the players off the court, on the court, the social media. It all plays together. This goes back to your point about the NBA being terrible at marketing and like doing a poor job of this. The players play a role in that too. They need to be more like, accessible and fun.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. And maybe they just need Michael Rappaport to interview him, and then we'll get a more animated Kevin Durant.
That's not PG.
No, that's not. All right. Kevin Cormier says, Tom Brady's Tampa Bay Bucks cards sell strong. Michael Jordan's Wizards cards, not so much. Is it only the winning that makes a difference? How do we see it moving forward with players who have longevity with one team who might switch at the end, like an Aaron Rodgers?
No, I think the reason this is happening is that there's just like a lot of money and hype being pushed towards the Tom Brady cards, and at this time, and he happens to be playing for the Bucks. Whereas when Jordan played for the Wizards, there was just no like, the hobby wasn't anywhere near where it is today. So there was just like a lot less established money invested in Jordan Wizards cards, and it just, there's not much incentive for those people to continue influencing and pushing Jordan Wizards cards because there was no money invested into it. But with Brady, it's like, huge push from multiple big accounts of like, hey, you need to get Brady Bucks cards. They're super important. It's just like a total, time-based thing. I think if it was reverse, we'd have the same thing.
Yeah. What if instead of 97, 98, 2002, 2003 was the year during which Metal Universe first came out and PMG Reds and PMG Greens first came out? It wouldn't matter, I don't think, very much that Jordan was in a Wizards jersey. People would still be collecting those at a high rate. I think it's partially a reflection of the quality of the products that came out at the time when Jordan was in those Wizards uniforms. And like you said, the enthusiasm for the hobby at that time.
The 2000 to 2003 cards are, like the dark years, in my opinion. It's like probably the worst stretch of run because like the bad rookie classes, the NBA lockout, like there's just like a lot of stuff that made those cards poor relatively. So that's a good point.
What do you think about Patrick Ewing Orlando Magic cards?
Oh, I think you should, as my friend Tyler says, invest? ?
Yeah, there is something neat about Brady's Bucks cards, though, because he did go to the Bucks. He did play one season there and didn't win a Super Bowl there. But then I saw a nice point made in the chat that was like, wait a minute, what about Peyton Manning's Broncos cards? There's not a lot of hype surrounding those.
Thank you.
So,
it's just a narrative, man. It's just like, it's my answer earlier about like why Luca cards and like some of these guys and Zion card. Like, dude, if it wasn't Zion and it was some other player, like people would have completely moved on and given up on him and his injury. Nobody would give a shit about his cards anymore. They would have just completely bailed. But because so much energy and effort and money went into him up front, people are less willing to bail at this point. They've got so much invested, it's going to keep carrying on for a while. So that's what happened with the Brady Buck cards, in my opinion.
Nice. Okay, Carbon drops an interesting tidbit I'd never heard before. He says even Michael Jordan did not want Wizard cards after he retired, and that's why they didn't make any Wizard cards of Michael Jordan post-retirement. And thank God, because those Bulls patches on those exquisite cards, those are excellent. But I guess Wizards patches might have been kind of nice, too. I don't know.
Those Wizards jerseys from those years he played are really bad.
Cardboard Insight says the 90s All-Star games where the players wore their own team jerseys were so dope. Do you agree or disagree?
Yes.
Okay, it's not a yes or a no.
I agree.
Okay, all right.
My favorite photo of sports history is, what I'm talking about? Kobe's going up for a dunk. Penny Hardaway's in the background. There's a bunch of other big All-Stars, and they're all wearing their own jerseys. It's an incredible photo. So, like, I just always think of that photo when I think of yes, look at that. There's Jordan Malone. Oh, my gosh. Doesn't your nostalgia just, like, go insane looking at this photo?
Yeah, like it almost
Looks like it was framed or posed.
or like photoshopped, like because we're so used to just seeing them in like red and blue or yellow, banana yellow and blue, like
Banana yellow as opposed to
sun yellow,
pineapple yellow, sun yellow,
canary yellow,
urine yellow. Okay.
legal writing pad yellow.
Legal writing pad yellow. All right. The 90s. Oh, I just answered. We just talked about that one. Oh, baby, I like it raw says just got a Michael Jordan insert. We have a lot of Michael Jordan hype flowing through the chat today. He said just got a Michael Jordan insert submission back from PSA. Question: would you rather have 2 PSA 10s and 2 PSA 8s come back, or would you rather have 4 PSA 9s come back for your piece?
That's a good question. Probably the 10s. I'd sell the 8s.
Yep.
Take the 10. I mean, who doesn't love getting a 10 back from a submission, Who doesn't love that?
Especially on like a 90s insert. Give me the 2 10s. But there's some people who want all 9s, They want
I love 9s.
the consistency.
PSA 9s, man. When a good PSA 9 comes up, I bought that one LeBron Gold recently. I just feel so confident about the purchase. I don't worry about the condition because it's a 9. I'm not overpaying because it's not a 10. It's just like it's a really nice balance for me. I love a 9. It makes me feel like this belongs in my PC.
Yes. Long Island Sports Card says, have we seen any bigger hobby/influencer counts that were promoting Star Stock, probably because they were investors, make statements regarding Star Stock's current situation, or have they moved on to pumping up something else? And in parentheses, he writes, this is not to say that they are pumping and please do your research. So basically he's trying to say, look, there was investors and people really pushing Star Stock hard. Now Star Stock has really tightened its belt, and it seems like a lot of those people have gone quiet. So do we want to comment on this, or just maybe let Long Island Sports Cards observation kind of just be what it is?
I feel like you're guiding me towards what you want me to do.
No, I'm not. I'm just asking because I think it's a fair setup before we just dive in and fire from the hip on a question like that.
Well, I've said a few times, like, one of my biggest gripes with content creators is they'll say something crazy, like some wild prediction, and they're never like held accountable, or they make some, purchase that they are telling everyone else to make, and then we never go back and figure out. Like, I don't know. I wish more people would follow up on past things, and if I don't do that, dude, bring it up in the chat, and I'll immediately address any past mistake or whatever. I would love to meet that stuff head on.
I think that covers it quite well. Super Collecting says, do you think the crossover needs someone who only watches baseball and builds ungraded non-sports sets?
It's like the opposite of that.
Super Collecting.
I think Super Collecting maybe watches only baseball and builds ungraded non-sport sets.
Yeah, I think
they're trying to cross over.
Yes, I do think that as well.
I take this as a great compliment, Chris, because people that comment just says to me, like, people like our platform, or not our platform, our style for this content, and they want it for their topics. I can't. That's a great compliment for me, so I appreciate that.
Quentin says, yes, we need someone's dad.
Dude, have you seen those progressive commercials? Those are really funny. Like the don't become your parents kind of commercials. There's one about, like, they're outside the stadium getting ready to go to the game. Have you seen that one?
Yes, I have. Can we not talk about leaving the game before we're even in the building yet?
They're always like, the funniest part is they're like, man, these parking lots, just imagine how much money they're taking in these parking. That's something that, like, a dad always says. They're like, man, they just must be like cash cow with these concession stands, guys. Or like, these stadiums break even on ticket prices. Where they make their real profits is on the parking spots.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And look, if we, we know what we like, and we try to know it well, but we don't know and like everything. That's just that when we're just letting you guys know it's real. We're not gonna, So we have a third wheel named Christina.
I'm the third wheel.
The third wheel.
The third wheel of this tricycle.
On the world's weirdest date.
That everybody's invited to in the hobby.
This is like really just like Josh and Chris bromance time, and Chris just sits here and works and just chirps in.
Yep, that's right.
Yep.
So
what's happening?
Basically, like, what you're saying is we shouldn't change anything about the show because it's working. It's going well. Don't change it.
yes, it's going well enough that Super Collecting wants to join, and his credentials are that he only watches baseball and builds ungraded non-sports sets.
If we talked about those two things, we would just be staring into the camera, like, with a blank face.
Right. It would be like when we have yep.
We could do what our competitor does and just, like, pretend to know it and say it's undervalued. That's a pretty easy way to go about it.
That's the alternative.
Undervalued.
Yeah. What'd you say? Baseball? Oh, baseball super undervalued right now. Like, because the off season and the season's coming back and the prices are just gonna go insane. That's baseball. She just totally throws cold water all over. Isn't that shit on strike?
Oh boy! All right. Elmo Card Collector says, what are your thoughts on the Porzingis trade and if it makes the Mavericks better? So let me tell you this.
I'm not saying anything.
No. I want you to answer this because ESPN
All right.
so basically the trade was the Mavericks had to send Porzingis and a second-round pick to the Washington Wizards in exchange for Davis Bertans and Spencer Dinwiddie. And ESPN gave the Mavericks a grade of a D, and they gave the Wizards an A-. And how anybody can get an A- and take on Kristaps Porzingis' contract. It's unbelievable.
Made them take Timothy Hardaway too, just like we had to.
I wish we could have. Well, what do you think? What do you think about the trade?
I think it's, I mean, at this point it's like whatever, the details and the grades. But I think the interesting part of it to me is like just how bad it got with the Porzingis stuff, that this is the end result. It's just like a reminder, like, dang, that did not work.
Yep. Yeah, I was choking back the tears. No, I'm glad that Porzingis is moving on. Here's the 30-second breakdown here. In Porzingis' first year playing as a Maverick, they played against the Clippers. He got injured in the second game. They lost the series in 6. So first year, not available in the playoffs. Second year, bubble. The first year was a bubble. The second year, Mavericks playing against the Clippers. Porzingis is injured on and off all year. He's injured during the series. Rick Carlisle has to have him stand in a corner. He averages like 9 points per game for the series. They have to bring in Boban as the center. He's just like this guy who they have to start, but he shouldn't be starting because he's hurt and he's not fully available to play. And Porzingis and they lose to the Clippers in 7 games. So basically, Porzingis is 30% of their salary cap. He's standing in a corner or he's hurt. He's either on one leg or he's just not even able to play. So the Mavs, because of Porzingis, are at 70% going against teams that are able to play 100% of their salary cap. It's similar to what the 76ers were facing with Ben Simmons this year. So at a certain point, the most important ability is availability. And then this year when Porzingis was, Porzingis played like 66% of his games for the Mavericks since he started there. He's just not available enough. There was never a chance in hell that Porzingis was going to be able to play 4 straight playoff series and stay healthy. He can't stay on the floor for a month ever for the Mavericks during his tenure here. He just had to go on because he was never taking up that much salary and that much of an important place on the Mavericks roster. He was never going to be there for the duration of a playoff run. He was never going to be able to be that 1B that the team needed him to be. But with all that said, ironically, I think the reason he got traded was he asked for a trade. he actually wanted – I don't think Cuban wanted to trade him. I think he did. First of all, it's known that he asked for a trade after last season. After that series where Rick Carlisle made him stand in a corner and he averaged like 9 points or whatever, he actually did ask for a trade formally. But Cuban said, no, wait, try out Jason Kidd. He tried out Jason Kidd. He didn't like him. Shocker. And then he asked for a trade to go to Washington. And so, and this is how piss poor value-wise his contract was. That's all they could find. All they could find for Porzingis, the best thing that they could get back for Porzingis was 2 equally bad contracts with Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans. And they had to send a second-round pick just to make Washington give up 2 bench rotation players. So that's how little the NBA thought of the Kristaps Porzingis contract. That literally was the best thing that they could get out of it. So
you should tell what Luca said about.
So they asked Luca after the game last night. They said, "Well, what do you think about the Kristaps trade? Did they involve you at all in this decision?" And Luca says, "Well, to be honest with you, I was taking a nap. So when they tried to call me, I did not pick up the phone." And he goes, my job is to play basketball and so on and so forth. He basically said, I didn't give a shit. It was trade deadlines Thursday, and I just took a nap. And then I woke up and drank coffee and got ready for the game.
He's probably sick of Porzingis too. Like, he's like, are you ever going to play with me, dude? Like, what the fuck?
Yep.
The best quote I saw was Tim Legler said, he's called the unicorn because of his unique abilities, but also because you rarely get to see him.
Yeah, exactly. Now, so the Mavericks starting 5 that has played the most minutes as a unit is Dwight Powell, Dorian Finney-Smith, Reggie Bullock, Jalen Brunson, and Luca. That unit has a net rating of plus 30, and their offensive rating is 130, and their defensive rating is 100. So that starting unit based on those numbers, is a real problem in the NBA. And it's telling that they play their best basketball without Porzingis. In the Mavericks record, with or without Porzingis, win percentage-wise, it's better without. They have a better win percentage without than with, when Luca plays as well. So, like, the team's like 13-6 with Luca and without KP. So he didn't seem to be making an impact on winning at all. They needed to move on. But unfortunately, they took back 2 really dumb, shitty contracts too. So it's just kind of a wash. that's At least they don't have to play these guys. Like, they had to play Porzingis, even though he wasn't healthy and he wasn't fitting. And also, like, Porzingis is in Washington now, and he looks happy there. He's already filming promos for the team. It looks like he wanted to get out. He got out. I'm happy for him that he did that. And I hope that, he has a great tenure in Washington.
That was the most jam-packed 30-second review I've ever heard.
Yeah, I realized I went past 30 seconds. About 30 seconds in.
Well, I mean, dude, if I ask you about Luca, the Mavs, Jordan, you should be like, that's your time to shine, man. Keep going.
That is my topic of choice. All right.
Someone ask a Chris Paul question, quick.
I've got one that's not Chris Paul.
Suns.
A bunch of people asked about this week. And I kept 2 of the questions, but there was like 4. So Cars and Candy 911 says, when will the tank for Bronny begin? And then Diggs Cardboard says, when Bronny cards finally come out, will the prices on them be the craziest ever?
Is he even ranked high in his class? I don't even think he is. I think I saw he's barely top 10 or whatever. I don't even think he's necessarily supposed to be a big thing.
No, I don't know. I mean, what are the odds that that anybody is going to be, a premier level talent that's going to be the craziest ever? Like, even more hype than Zion and LeBron and just, I don't know.
You know that Michael Jordan his kids played college basketball and they were not too great. I mean, I'm obviously I'm not comparing that to Bronny, but it's just wildly unfair to just assume he's going to be the number 1 overall player. It's believe it or not, it's actually very difficult to be the number 1 ranked high school player in the country. Only one person gets it. You can't just be the best.
No, you can't. So I don't know, man. There seems to be a hobby appetite for this Bronny. Yeah, so see, Stiff Arm Wax says I remember this. He played on his traveling basketball team. He played against one of Michael Jordan's children. He played against Jeffrey Jordan in Chicago.
Is he the one that wore the goggles?
I don't know. Did he wear the goggles?
I think he played at Illinois for a little bit, Jeffrey, I think. I think he played there when I was in college. Yeah, dude, I don't know. Is Bronny going to be hyped? Of course he is. He's LeBron James' kid. There's, speculation that LeBron's going to force a trade to his son's team. There's all this media, discussion around it. I don't know. I think the hobby is going to, value his stuff, but he's got to be good at basketball. I think, that's first and foremost. You can't have much hobby value if you're not good. So I think we got to start there.
Yeah. Do you think LeBron will go and play with LeBron Jr.?
Watching this season and just sort of being disappointed that it's going to be really tough for him to win another title. At this point, I'm just I'm going to enjoy whatever I can out of LeBron these last few years. And he's averaging 29 points a game this year. And he's playing great. He's slowing down, to be completely honest with you. You said something about how Westbrook's the only guy giving it his all. I've watched LeBron, walk down the court to play defense. He's definitely slower and older and stuff. So I'm going to enjoy it. If he wants to play with his kid, he's going to get the scoring title, kind of whatever he wants to do. Also, remember, dude, he's many tens of thousands of, minutes past where Jordan was in his career or during the Wizards years. So to expect him to just, be Jordan in 98 is just unrealistic. He's more of Jordan in 2002 or 2003. So it's set your expectation. He's going to get older and slower. So I don't know. If we can get some years of him playing with his son, it might be interesting to watch. I don't know. I just want to keep watching him play basketball. I don't even care what team he plays for anymore. I just like watching him.
Yep, I know what you mean. And I'm going to keep on saying it all season long until the Lakers prove me wrong. Lakers get in the playoffs, that's not a team I want to play. So
Dude, I would
I'll
love
play
to.
pretty much any in the Western Conference outside of the Suns and the Warriors. I'll take any other team besides the Lakers in the first round.
Yeah, no, I get you. I get it. Dude, I was like dying to find some Suns content this morning after that game last night because I was really fired up and I couldn't find jack shit.
You love to consume that post-game heat too.
Oh my God, I love it. But my wife always makes fun of me. She's like, you fucking watch the pregame, you watch the game, and now you got to watch more of the game after the game? I'm like, well, yeah, because they won, and I enjoy it.
I've been there talking with you like in the middle of a deep dive into like highlights or going over like historical games and stuff like that. Like one time you just sent me this LeBron game from like '08 or something like that against maybe the Pistons or the Celtics maybe. And you were like, here, just watch this game. And I appreciate it. I love those deep dives. We're just 3 hours of watching YouTube highlights and reading Wikipedia pages about like history and great things that our favorite players have done. It's the best. It's the absolute best. Like the Mavs do this thing, this sounds from the baseline, and it's just like moderate production level documentary style YouTube stuff. Like I'll just watch the hell out of that, just cause. And okay, can we get back on this rant for just a second? NBA media content. Why aren't these guys doing more storytelling? That's what I'm pivoted into. You know what the NBA doesn't have? It doesn't have drama. It doesn't have the storytelling. It doesn't have the arcs. Dude, Ben Simmons did this brilliant episode on Joel Embiid about a week and a half ago where he told the whole Embiid story. He told about how Embiid started playing basketball when he was a teenager, and then how he came over here and went to school here, and then about how he was drafted, but his draft stock fell so much because he got injured, and then he had to miss his first 2 seasons, and it was this whole Philadelphia 76ers trust the process thing. It was a whole – he freaking told a movie through a 20-minute article that he wrote just to read on his podcast. He told a movie. It made me care about Joel Embiid. I can't watch Embiid play without thinking differently and connecting emotionally to his story and his arc. The NBA does none of this. That their podcasters are the people who are telling the story of their stars and their athletes. These leagues are resting on their laurels. They're not making compelling content. They're not telling the stories of their stars, the human stories, the narratives that connect us to these players, which the NFL has, and the NBA does not have it. They need to start telling these stories.
Dude, the Super Bowl lead up, I fucking guarantee you there's going to be a whole Matt Stafford thing from his childhood to where he is today. The Lions are going to talk about all of it. Same with Burrow. There's going to be really compelling. They're going to have Aaron Andrews fly out, meet their family. It happens every time. We know everything about all these football players that we're going to know about. There's going to be a 20-minute piece on Aaron Donald and like how he got to be so tough today and like what, upbringing he had to get to this point. Every time. Basketball, we don't know dick about any of these guys. You're totally right.
We don't. It's so annoying. It's so.
I don't know anything about Joel Embiid. I don't know anything about Joel Embiid. Nothing. I know he's tall and he played for Kansas.
Yes, dude. Bill Simmons did 20 minutes on a podcast about Joel Embiid about a week and a half ago on the Bill Simmons podcast, and it has made me so much more interested in watching him and his career develop and how he's going this year. So
let's make our own. We should do an NBA podcast. I love talking NBA is great.
Dude, we could show them how it's done. We could tell the stories of these athletes,
but we don't
paint narratives.
To your point, like the podcasts, there are podcasts that do that, but the problem is like the broadcast of the games, we don't get any of it, and that's where like the viewership needs to be the most engaged. Like the pregame and stuff of the NFL does a better job.
You know what the NFL does that the NBA doesn't do? When it comes to NFL content, the content creators are not the stars. The content creators are making the players the stars. But it feels like in a lot of NBA content, the content creators themselves are the stars. The main attraction is the post-game show. Why the hell is that the case? The biggest stars should be the athletes on the floor, not the guys talking about it afterwards.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think that you guys just agreed to start a new show.
We could just call it the crossover, and it's about like a basketball crossover.
Oh yeah.
The crossover between cards and actual storytelling of the athletes.
Well, think about it. As card collectors, we tell ourselves our own stories about these athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all have stories that our collections tell and that we keep about these athletes. So, yeah, I agree with you, Ginger. But the problem is that more of us tune in to watch Shaq and Chuck than we do to watch the games. And it's not because the games suck. It's because we haven't been led to become connected to those athletes the same way we're connected to Chuck and Shaq. We know more about the storyline of the commentators than we do about the athletes. That's backwards. That's totally backwards. With that said, it's a great show. I don't want to take anything away. It's like one of the best sports commentary shows out there is Shaq, Ernie, Chuck. So it's hilarious.
It's too good.
But
you're saying it's like too good, like it's distracting from the.
It's great, but like it wouldn't be hard to make the game itself the star of the show, but it comes from building the storyline of the players and their struggles and what the season means and where they came from and where they're possibly going.
Well, like also, part of it is that the NBA just has so many games. They can't like do a story feature, 82 times. In the NFL, it's just a little bit more natural to once a week do that story. So, but I mean, the weekly Thursday night game, it's similar to having one game a week on football. Like they have the build-up in place to be able to do it. So
yeah, they do. So Collectibles Cards Collector says, well, what about college basketball? College basketball is massively popular. You want to know one of the motives, the engines behind college basketball? Because most people went to college, and so they have an emotional connection to that particular school. And for those 2 weeks or 3 weeks of March Madness out of the year, they're very emotionally connected to their teams and how they do. Plus, there's the gambling element of it. Plus, it's only 2 to 3 weeks. College basketball is not popular for the regular season of college basketball. Very few people watch that. It's March Madness where things amp up and hype up. And I think the connection that we have to specific universities is a big part of the emotional connection, the product that helps sell that product.
Yeah, plus March Madness is, it's like its own humongous brand. Just the name March Madness is such a big brand that, and it has like all these things baked into our society of like taking days off of work to do it, like watching the games in the middle of the day, the brackets, the gambling, the one and done aspect of it, the pageantry, like
the Cinderella story aspect.
That stuff just like sells itself at that point. It's just such a great tournament. Yeah, the 16s and the ones, like there's so much the story, but you're right, like they do a really good job of telling the stories of like how the 15 seeds got to the second round, how they got to the third round, who's like, what inspirational things got them to this point to beat these higher seeds. There's a lot of that too. There's a lot of build up.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there really is. NBA used to have great interviews at the halftime show. Yeah, NBA was a different product in the 90s. It really was. All right, Green Ice Sports 24 says, who will be the biggest quarterback in cards in 2035? Will it be Patrick Mahomes? Will it be Joe Burrow? Will it be Justin Herbert? Will it be someone else, or will it still be Brady? And can we use this as an opportunity to talk about Aaron Rodgers winning back-to-back MVPs in his late 30s, being second most all-time in MVPs to Peyton Manning? Can we just talk about kind of the greatness that he's achieved over the course of his career as well? But first, who will be the biggest quarterbacks in cards in 2035? Who do you think?
I don't know. Mahomes, I guess. Mahomes is just like, people may have forgotten because he lost to Burrow, but Mahomes is fucking incredible, man. He's an incredible player. He's going to be here. He's going to be great. So Mahomes is the easy one. I don't know. What is that, like 13 years? Jesus, man, I don't even know.
Yeah.
13 years, he's going to be old. He's going to be like, he'll be super old. It's going to be someone else probably.
All right, here's some of the comments from the chat. Trevor Lawrence, John Elway, Archie Manning, or Arch Manning, the young Manning, I presume.
That's cool.
Up-and-coming Manning. Derek Carr, Jimmy G, Lamar Jackson, let's go. Tua, someone else entirely.
What did you say you want to talk about? Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers, back-to-back MVPs, like at age 37 and 38.
Yeah, there's obviously like this awkward cloud, over that discussion of like, yeah, he lost again in the first playoff game and he shouldn't have lost and the team didn't play well and stuff. But yeah, man, he's definitely like the modern day Peyton Manning, right? Like it's pretty similar accolades. He has one more MVP than Manning now, which is incredible. The guy's just like incredibly talented, super good quarterback. If I collected Rodgers, I wouldn't be so down on it. He's an easy target right now. People are just shitting on him because of the playoffs, but man, what a great player.
Yeah, so Wharf Sports Cards made a great post today.
Oh, yeah.
Who had the better 10-season stretch, Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning? Rodgers had Rodgers was 112 and 46, and Manning was 128 and 48. Manning had 4,000 completions to Rodgers 3,600.
Look at the interceptions.
Yeah, then you get the touchdowns. They're very close, 362, 351. Rodgers threw only 64 interceptions, whereas Manning threw 151. But otherwise, they're pretty darn close. They both have 4 MVPs and 1 Super Bowl win.
Yeah. I liked your point earlier tonight about like Manning getting that ring in the Broncos. Why does nobody care about that? Dude, the interception to touchdown ratio is fucking insane. Like no one else in history is like touching that. He's just incredibly efficient.
Yeah, by the way, this graphic is Worf says in the chat that Peyton Manning has 5 MVPs. That's what I thought too. Chad is chiming in that Peyton has 5 MVPs, so I think the graphic has a typo. It should be 5. But he has 4 in that 10-year span. I'm sorry. Got it. Go on.
So Manning has 5 MVPs and Rodgers has 4 now. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Career.
I think the Brady machine is just really overshadowing just how great Rodgers, Breeze, and Manning are, in my opinion. Like those 3 guys are just so. It's almost like Jordan just like taking away championships from all these other guys that were such great players. And these 3 guys are just really, really good. Those 3 guys are just incredible.
Yep, I would definitely agree with that. And, the league is going to be out one of its most interesting year-in and year-out storylines when Aaron Rodgers retires, just like it suffers with the loss of Tom Brady, too. Because, like, watching Aaron Rodgers just pick teams apart and constantly go 13-3 is it's greatness in its own right.
Yeah. And the debates, the endless debates about, if he swapped places with Brady, had Belichick, had better defenses along the way, how many rings would he have? That stuff is interesting because, Rodgers, if you like really lined him up season per season, his efficiency stats and his statistics are better, but Brady just, wins when it matters most and Rodgers doesn't. So that's all people care about.
Indeed. Indeed. What do you think about Drew Brees as an announcer?
I don't know. I don't know. He's kind of plain, I guess. I don't know. He seems pretty good.
Oh, he seems pretty good.
He had like maybe 1 or 2 games that I saw. Dude, I think I've said it so many times. Collinsworth is the fucking worst announcer in all sports. Football, basketball, I don't care. So just get Breeze in there to replace Collinsworth, please. I don't care.
Joe Buck.
I wanted to find an image of Breeze. This is one of the most iconic images of Breeze in his early career as a commentator. This is him.
What?
This is him calling games this year from the sideline. He's very talented. Breeze is not good at calling games. He should ease out and rest on his Hall of Fame NFL career.
What about Manning? Have you watched the Manning brothers show?
Yeah, it's too much about them for me, and not
Yeah, I
about
agree.
the game.
I wanted to watch the game. I always flip over because I want to watch the game, but it's kind of like the Shaq and Chuck thing. It's the same kind of thing.
Yep.
Dude, he's not worse than Chris Collinsworth. I'd rather have Drew Brees than Chris Collinsworth. You showed a picture of Chris Collinsworth just now.
All right, no, hold on. I do actually have a picture of Collinsworth. That's pretty funny. It's him and Al actually together. Here it is.
No, up to the left, the white and the green one.
Oh, this one. There they are. There's Al. There's Al with Chris.
I like this. I like this new spicy Chris tonight. This is good.
Yeah, I was
Coffee.
so fired up off the adrenaline of getting through all the questions, and now I'm able to slow it down because we got through a ton of them.
Well, we saw your little saucy story that you posted earlier, and you're just riding that high right now. The fumes of that are still burning.
We have a few questions about that story, actually.
Please, I would love for you to address it.
We still have some more questions to get through. So,
Thumb?
like about 10 to 12.
Oh, okay. Let's power.
All right. So Marino212 says, is Classic 4 Sport the greatest product ever created? Classic 4 Sport. All right. So here's some of the Classic 4 Sport, which I remember these. I remember collecting some of this stuff as a kid. Some of this Classic 4 Sport. Somebody actually DM'd me and was like, Classic 4 Sport was the first ones to use foil. They were the first ones to serial number cards. They get no credit, but they made really cool cards. I don't know how true that is. But yeah, Classic 4 Sport. Josh, what do you say? Is it the greatest product ever created?
I've literally never heard that sentence in my life, so no. Someone asked in the chat for you to show a picture of Kristaps.
Oh, a Porzingis?
Oh, yeah.
I actually think I do have a picture of him somewhere. Hold on a minute. Oh, here we go.
Trash can variation.
This was from his last game as a Mav. There it is. This was him his last game in a Mavs uniform.
But joke is so funny. Like, the whole joke about, like, here's a live look. Those are so funny. I just love that content. Live look at Drew Brees announcing. How juvenile are we that just, like, it just keeps getting funnier?
Color match.
The fuck is Yeah, I love that. The most I've ever heard you laugh was that when I was like, dude, this is like the 80th funniest thing I've ever sent you, and you're like crying over here.
I don't
You were
know why
dying.
that just hit so different.
Well, sometimes like I send you DMs and stuff on Facebook, and I'm like, this is really funny. This dude better be like crying over there. And I have no idea because it's a text. And then Christina will message me and be like, what did you send? And I'm like, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
When I hear Chris start giggling, I always go straight to Josh.
Yep.
Go, what did you send?
Well, you know it's good if Christina's circling around because usually Christina can be like, what's so funny? And I can just tell her. But if it's so funny that I'm not telling her because I'm just laughing and enjoying it, so she has to go find out through you, those are the real winners.
People are starting to act truly thinking that I'm inebriated at this point.
Maybe Truly will. This will be the one that Truly finally watches, and they're going to see a White Claw, and then they're going to be like, no bueno.
Well, maybe it should be like a jealousy thing, you know? It's like me, you know, with a different, you know, drink. They should be jealous.
They should. And they should be upset that they missed on the opportunity. There you go. Truly isn't going to pay for an advertisement that they give them for free every week. That's why we're on White Claw this week.
You always point that out. You're like, I don't know why Truly would. You keep putting it on there. You always have it in your hand anyways. How stupid are they?
Well, now we're making a pivot. So equal opportunity for the drinkage.
What the fuck is up, YouTube?
Oh, all right. Khalil the Hokage says, will the Prism flashback set be seen as equally iconic? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me start again. Will the Prism flashback set be seen as iconic because of its affiliation with 2012 Prism? What do you...
Nick said,
Do not.
I don't think I do have a JPEG of them somewhere.
Did you see what Nick said?
No, I found it. Okay. Because we had talked to them previously. Christina had DM'd them on LinkedIn, and then they sent over this picture, actually. This is the picture that they sent to themselves. There it is. There we go. All right.
Oh my god.
And I hope you like White Claw.
I saw Nick's comment. I was just like, I'm done. Like, I can't. I'm done. The way he said it was like, a live look at the truly marketing. Oh yeah. Good job, Nick. Oh, flashback.
Hardliner team, guys. Like, let's have our fun.
I love how it's like in the middle of a serious question and we're just, giggling through trash cans. Man, like the second I saw that comment, I was just like, see you later. You got the rest of the show, right? Oh, that was so funny.
No, it is. It got to that point. It's gone. It's lost.
All right, prison flashback. What's the question? Is it value?
I have a picture of prison flashback on my computer. Actually. This is prison flashback with one of the main collectors here. A live look at prison flashback.
Oh, live look. Oh, man. Trash ladder.
Not the trash ladder.
Someone just said more like prison trash back. Oh, my God.
For anyone
All right.
who's listening to this on podcast, you're really gonna have to go to YouTube, guys.
Yep,
Like,
you're
this
gonna
is a
have to watch.
YouTube week. Mark down the minute mark and go watch the last like 20 minutes on YouTube.
All right. What was the question?
All right, the question was, will the prison flashback set? Will the prison flashback set?
Basketball PC says you gotta send it out to your correspondent.
Yeah, do you like this thing with the earpiece? Like, I'm out here on the field. Hold on, we're just getting word. We're about to get a live interview.
All right. Will the prison flashback set be seen as iconic because of its affiliation with 2012 Prism?
Oh.
No. Next question.
No, I don't think so. I think it's a little bit of a fad right now. I can't even, like, did you know that there's like a 1996 reprint of Fleer 86?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's basically like a joke of a set, right?
There's
I'm not
Star
saying
101 reprint too.
Yeah, I mean, Flashback has like, it's got like the black and the gold, and it's got stuff people are excited about. So it's definitely, it's got a lot more stuff going for it than some previous reprints. But I don't know, the reprint thing is always kind of a fad to me.
Yeah, some of them have sold quite well though. So the LeBron has sold for $93,000. It was a PSA 10 of his Prism Gold Flashback from this year, and they are sharp looking cards.
Yeah, they're nice.
They are nice, but yeah, look, the market already has really given them a lot of respect. Yeah,
I mean, dude, I'll keep saying it over and over, but like, Topps Chrome, Finest, Bowman Gold stuff is cheap, and everything that's a Prism is just like $100,000 at this point. So, dude, I can't focus anymore. I'm just thinking of trash cans. Like, you started this, and I honestly was like, wow, Drew Brees, you really don't like him. And then it just sort of built. No.
So maybe we can get a sponsorship from Garbage.
Waste Management. Actually, there's every year that the Super Bowl week happens, there's a golf tournament in Phoenix, and it's called the Waste Management Open.
Because the field is built on a A trash dump? Is that the course is built on a trash dump? A lot of them are. A lot of golf courses are.
No, what?
They are. They are.
No, Waste Management is a company, and they sponsor the tournament. Nothing.
Oh,
That's like saying,
sponsor.
oh, the Bud Light Super Bowl. Does that mean that the stadium is like filled with Bud Light? What are you talking about?
All right.
I mean, it is because every concession stand is just pumping out Bud Light. Oh, did you see that comment?
the ultimate trash can.
Dude, I'm down on the field. I got a live look. We'll send it down to our correspondent.
New YouTube video out.
There was one, it was like the third or fourth one. You were really serious, and I was like, "This isn't going to be a trash can. It's going to be a picture of this guy."
Yeah. All right. Logfish says, "What are your favorite 3 basketball cards from the 1970s?"
1970s?
I'm gonna lean on Card Ladder for my answer because I own 0 basketball cards from the 1970s.
There was like one set per year kind of thing back then, right? Maybe like a couple sets, but you kind of have to just kind of pick your favorite years, I guess. I can't even picture a card from the 70s.
Yeah, same here. So this is a great opportunity actually to kind of show one of the functionalities of Card Ladder. So here I am on Card Ladder. I'm actually searching. Here, I pulled up a filtered search of cards from the 1970s.
Okay.
I knew I was coming, you fucker.
There's the 70s. There's my 3 favorite right there. No, I actually am pulling up a search.
I saw that coming.
I just got to filter the basketball. All right. So what I did here, I searched 1970 through 79, and then here's some of the cards that show up. So this card actually set like a crazy all-time high about 2 weeks ago. This Maravich, this 1975.
Dude.
This PSA 10 just went crazy. I love the design of this card. It looks like an old jazz album cover.
Look at that goatee.
That goatee is ridiculous. So that's a sharp looking 70s basketball card. What else do we have in here? Let me sort by value because that's usually a pretty good way to figure out what people like the most. All right, so here's this card sold for $162,000 last year. This 70 Topps Kareem Tallboy.
Josh can't even look at the screen.
It's got what Christina called earlier banana yellow. We got this 1971 Topps Kareem. I mean, I do enjoy the appeal and the aesthetic of those cards.
That's my number 1 so far. I like that one.
This one? Okay.
Yeah.
We got the Iceman, 74 Topps.
I like the look of this. It looks very 70s, like
Yeah, it does.
funky disco kind of.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the 71 Tiny Archibald. It's a neat design on the 71 set.
Oh, I'm behind. I'm tracking to the video, not to what you were pulling up.
Oh, okay. 76 Topps
I like that one.
Julius.
I like the basketball going into the
Oh, this right here?
yeah, like Photoshop before Photoshop was a thing.
Yeah, I mean, these are cool cards. I could see myself branching out into some of this stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's like an alternate universe where I collect vintage cards because they're cool.
Yeah.
And also, appreciate the simplicity where, like, if we wanted to collect it, we wouldn't have to, spend millions of dollars trying to figure out every card we need and all this stuff. It's, it's very simple.
Yep. Just go get the high grades. And it's low pop stuff as well. So look, we went more than 3, but 70s cool era for cards.
One of my favorite flashbacks if we were going to go back and remember old crossover episodes, is when we used to like try to find Jordan. Don't do it. This is when we try to find Jordan cards that are like, hadn't exploded in value, and trying to like help people find creative ways to like approach Jordan collecting. And we just like we're going through the ladder, picking awesome Jordan inserts. So if we can get some more of that content, I love that stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's one of the biggest challenges with Card Ladder in general as a product offering is how do we make stuff discoverable? How that's just always the question. Is just like, so like, look, that's one really neat way to use Card Ladder is like you can actually use the Boolean search to put in 1971, 1972, 1973, close off the parentheses, and then filter to basketball only, and then start sorting it through the 15 different ways that we let you sort the stuff. And like that was kind of like that kind of lit a small fire under me, and I was like, man, I don't own any vintage cards, and now I'm interested all of a sudden because this stuff.
We also have a filter where you can multi-select years. You bum.
Yeah.
Or I could have done that. Oh yeah, here you go. There is a filter that lets you toggle through years. So
you can like click them much quicker. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
Done this.
Also, show us the hand, bro.
Huge. Small screen. Oh, nope.
I'm just like trying not to think of trash cans right now. Think of anything else.
You never know when I turn the camera around what I'm going to show.
Dude,
a live look.
There's no return. Once you get into like the giggle phase, there's just no turning back. It's over.
No, there's not.
Man, that was good. I feel so much better. A good hearty laugh is the best feeling in the world.
Yes, it is. All right. South Park Cards 2 wants to know how long until Gavin Lux and Nico Herner 2020 Topps cards are used as coasters. So
I don't know who those two guys are, but apparently they're not very good.
That's baseball prospect talk that
Oh, okay.
we just politely decline.
Yeah. I don't even want to get a live look at those guys.
We don't even need a live look.
Coasters, apparently, they're just they're basically just pieces of paper.
Right. All right. Riverfront Collectibles says, if you guys, Christina included, could only look at 5 Instagram stories every day.
Oh, we got a preview of this. Yep, okay.
Which accounts would you pick?
All right.
This knows what I'm talking about.
I have 4. I can't think of a 5th, but the main criteria for me is they have to be consistently posting stories every day. Because if I only get 5, I need lots of content.
Yep.
Lots of content.
Yep, very true.
I've got Tyler Sports Guy. I've got Lameme James. I've got South Park Cards 2. I actually really like his stories.
I do too.
He's very opinionated, and I enjoy it.
Yep.
And yourself, Chris Hodge.
Okay. Yep.
4. I couldn't think of a 5th who posts like really regularly. That was really my main criteria. Obviously, it has to be good stories, but like, it was hard to think of someone who posts a lot of stories.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. I look at maybe like 100 different stories. Like it's hard to just say 5, right? Exquisite Sports Collectibles, Jameson. Summertime Cards, Anthony. Riverfront Collectibles, David. And and Putnam Cards. Those 4, I just love the constant sports card content.
All right, I'll do the 5th one for both of you.
All right.
Card Ladder.
And Card Ladder, yes.
Idiots.
Oops.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I actually have a shot of the Card Ladder feed here.
Dude, I thought you were going to like, these are my 4 favorite content, and you're just...
No. Let's not go all the way.
I want to get through these questions so I get you to answer that last one. I want to get to that last one.
Oh, all right. Well, Goat Chaser 7715 says, please discuss why RPA booklets are cheaper than National Treasure's RPAs.
The booklets meaning like the actual like booklet cards, the two-sided things.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean those just like traditionally aren't collectible. Because like one, they're like really hard to grade and get into neat slabs and stuff, and they're hard to store, and they're just traditionally like not looked upon as as collectible.
They're just something else, they're not quite cards. They're something
No,
else.
booklets. They're booklets.
Yeah.
They're not even called cards.
They're cool.
Have you seen like the Beckett slabs on some of those? They're like
Yeah. Like the
hideous
tiny
and
little booklet, like the gigantic slab.
I like the multi-auto ones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really a fan of like all these different patches.
There's like
This
a-
is kind of crazy.
yeah. That's like a small one. I've seen ones where it's like, you know what I'm talking about? They're like
Yes,
huge.
I know. I wish I could find like a gigantic slab.
Yeah, I think South Park Cards 2 has one where it's like a LaShawn McCoy booklet, and it's just like a gigantic slab. I can't think of anything more, but I know he's got one like that.
Yeah.
Invest question mark booklets? Have you ever owned a booklet?
Mm-mm. Nope. There's too many cards to gather before I would experiment with a booklet.
I have one. It's interesting. I'm not sure what to think about it. It's cool, I guess.
Who's on your
It's
booklet?
different. I was given one by a friend, Northeast Sports Cards, Josh. He gave me a Penny Hardaway booklet. I have it. I mean, it's in my office. It's neat.
Okay. Nice. All right. So Dillick Card says, Josh, what's your favorite Topps Chrome LeBron, not including his rookie year?
2006, I think. It's my favorite.
Let me see if I can get his 2006 pulled up on Card Ladder.
I obviously like the Chalk Toss one, but that's kind of a, too easy. I like 2006 a little bit more.
Yeah, so
Such a sweet card.
here's the refractor from 2006.
Yeah, it's such a sweet, like the sort of angle on the photo and the, the depth of the photo is really cool.
Yep, it's very similar to that Kobe All-Star Game picture we were looking at. Similar photography, POV.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the word is for that. That's like, it's almost like a curved, camera angle, and it's like in the backboard. It's just, it's unique. It's cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right. Moving on here. Drake's PC says, could you discuss the similarities and differences you've seen with the recent growth of emerging card markets? Wrestling, Pokemon, for example, compared with the way traditional card markets like basketball, football, and baseball grew as they emerged.
Yeah. I kind of equate it to like, excuse me, like the trends in like Michael Jordan, sort of like more slow paced up and right versus like some more of the middle finger stuff. So like, I think, we'll probably see some middle fingers on like F1 and maybe wrestling and like Marvel, but then like eventually that stuff will start to like pick up and grow over time, kind of like soccer did. So, I wouldn't necessarily worry about the middle finger on some of those if it happens. Whereas, basketball and Michael Jordan stuff is just kind of more steady.
No doubt. Yes, indeed it is. So we had a return.
You gotta turn your volume down. Turn your volume off. Can they see us?
You're
Are you
dark,
light back
man.
here? Hold on. Whoa. How you
What's
doing?
up, Ken? How are you, bud? Oh, and it's Shine in the house. What's up, Shine?
How you guys doing tonight?
Oh, we're good with that.
What's up? What's up, guys?
Doing well. What type of shenanigans are you guys getting into over there?
We are LA. We are going to see a big 7-footer right now. We just left Tyson.
All right. I guess it's only 10 o'clock in LA. The night's still young.
It is only 10 o'clock. I popped this on. Shine grabbed my phone and sent the request. He doesn't. You push you push your screen.
Which one?
The video camera.
It's gonna echo.
Video camera?
It is going to echo too badly. It's going to be horrible.
Hi, Laura.
Laura, don't worry. Go on,
Who's
Laura.
that?
What's
Christina,
up, Laura?
have it.
Hi.
Where are we
Wait,
from?
who said hi to me?
Christina said hi.
He recognized your
Come
voice.
say hi, Christina.
Christina?
Hold on, Laura. Hold on, Laura.
You met her like 4 times.
Hi, Laura.
Oh, hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm working. Sorry.
I'm being dragged around with these guys.
Oh yeah, you're dragging us.
No, I'm not. I'm the fun one here.
I'm
They're-
sure you are.
Yeah, they're being
Oh my
lame.
God.
What?
Yeah, except it's ready for screeching.
Oh, well, now it's gonna echo so badly.
Let's see how many. Now they just want the views.
Let's talk cards.
Hold on, man. One of you guys.
Look at
we can't
Josh.
do
Look
this
at
without
Josh.
Josh is like, what the hell?
Josh was like, oh my God.
We've got listen. Literally, we've got 15,
interrupted.
we've got 15 cases of flawless. We should just bust them right in the car with you guys.
Well, what are you doing with it? We open it?
Oh, you're asking me? I have it muted.
Oh, okay.
Because it's echoey.
It is
We don't
echoing.
have 15 cases with us. 15 cases back in Florida. But we can do it. We can arrange this. We can open it on the crossover.
I think we need to do that.
I'm gonna mute the microphone.
And let me
Oh, we gotta mute. Hold on. I can't hear shit.
the fucking echo.
Matt, switch on.
Oh, so Matt, one of us should hang up.
One of you should hang up.
Disconnect.
No, now it's good.
Oh, now we're good. So now are we good now?
Genius. What can I say?
Yes,
Sorry to interrupt and disrupt.
We just wanted to say hi. We're in the car going, and I said, hey, the crossover's on. We got to tune in.
Whoa. The 2 angles is throwing me way off.
We got 2 pens.
I did that on purpose.
What'd you do?
All right.
Put you on.
Oh, great.
First of all, I want to welcome Shine to his first crossover appearance. Welcome him for that. And look, don't let us take away from your night in LA. Thank you for stopping by and saying hi. We love you guys.
That's pretty much, yeah. We're just saying hello.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you. I appreciate
Take
it.
care,
guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Christina.
Dude, we definitely need a Shine break on the crossover. That would be groundbreaking.
Well, I think we just set it up.
You better be careful though, because Ken promised me a certain break would happen, and I'm still waiting. So
Do you have a live what? Do you have a live look of a flawless break? Don't you love that, like, just how juvenile our jokes are, that everyone else would be like, what are you guys talking? How many
No, we just picked up a few hundred new people who would be like, what are you guys talking about right now? All right. This crossover kind of had it all, didn't it?
It had something going.
All right.
Something.
So look, do you want to say anything about comparing the markets of wrestling and Pokemon to more traditional markets like basketball, football, and baseball?
I already did.
Oh, all right. Well,
Middle fingers, and then, like, we'll probably see some middle fingers on those, like we did with young prospects,
Oh,
and then
right.
they'll start to level out and grow a little bit slower over time. You know, if I owned a lot of that stuff, I wouldn't be concerned if there was a middle finger.
yeah. All right, a few more questions here before we're done. Dillick Card says, do you think we'll ever get back to normal wax release schedules? Prism football isn't coming out until the end of April, it looks like. Some of the main football product aren't even on the calendar for September. So, look, there is a huge backlog. I have to imagine it's going to get solved eventually, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's like asking if we're ever going to get back to, you know, pre-COVID scheduling with sports and restaurants and, you know, social public life. Yeah, eventually, probably.
Right.
It might be a couple more years, though, honestly, dude. Like, playing catch-up is not an easy task for some of these companies. It's a lot of, like, there's a lot of logistics that go behind it. That's not so simple.
Yeah. Somehow, in order to catch up, you have to figure out how to produce twice as much for a period of time. So,
Right.
I don't know. But I'm sure.
Just ask PSA about that.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. It's, you know, you don't want to miss out on any products, right? But they might have to cut their losses at some point too.
The Prism one is really awkward, though. Like, it's getting weird. You know, like, Prism football's still not out. It's weird that Burrow doesn't have a Prism Gold yet.
No,
Sorry, that was on Lawrence. Sorry, yeah, Lawrence.
Lawrence and fucking all those that whole crop. Yeah, it sucks.
Justin
Fields, it sucks. The whole thing went by. Yeah.
There's no national treasures of those guys, right? I'm not, dude. Like,
No.
I was thinking, like, I can't even picture a single Justin Fields rookie card.
No, you have like the Donruss.
That's seriously it. Still, that's so awkward.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few others.
Illusions.
Mosaic just popped.
Yeah, Illusions came out, Mosaic, and Select.
Yeah.
Or Select 2020. I think that's 2020.
I literally cannot picture a Justin Fields card.
No, there's just you've got the Donruss. Did you pull a Justin Fields in that Donruss break you did the other night?
Yeah, but it was a Gridiron Kings. It wasn't a.
Are any of you guys going to collect Justin Fields?
Nick was thinking about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, Nick would be a good... Nick should do it.
Okay, well, this is Trevor Lawrence, but here, this is Justin Fields here?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only card I can picture is that stupid Mac Jones, Donruss. That one's... What's that one?
That's Gridiron Kings. It's an insert.
That one's not bad. Looks like a good buyback candidate.
Do you smell cards? I think we've talked.
Yeah, I always smell them. They smell great.
They do smell great. All right.
It's mostly like a nostalgic smell though for me.
I agree. A lot of those 90s cards lost most of their smell though, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the first thing I do. When I open a package, I just smell it, and people that don't collect are like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Pretty much. Okay, Upstate Sports Cards says, will we ever see a Jordan Fleer PSA 10 Auto 10 sell? If it does exist and we do see it sell, how much would it sell for? And what about 52 Topps Mansell PSA 9 Auto 10?
Well, there's only 6 PSA 9s that aren't autoed, so I don't know if you're ever going to see that one. Right? The PSA 9 Mantles and PSA 10s are like ghosts in itself. The auto just seems like too many. Jordan PSA 10. I don't know, man. Like people don't really like love the whole autograph after the fact card thing.
Yeah, it's not a pack issued card. It's not.
It's just not really a thing.
It's not. It's something. It's on a sports card, and it's really cool, but it's not quite a true sports card. It's not a pack issued, manufacturer produced release. It's just not. It's an aftermarket product.
That's usually one of the first things I get asked by people entering the hobby is like, what if I go and get this card autographed? Does it double the price? I'm like, not really. It almost like lowers it in a lot of cases, depending on what it is, obviously. But like Prism, Prism Gold immediately lowered the value. People would rather have the Prism Gold than the sticker auto and the post, and also, like, Jordan doesn't really sign stuff. I don't know if we haven't said that yet. He doesn't really sign anything, so good luck with that.
Yep, no doubt.
You can't just, like, hand Jordan a Fleer card, autograph it, and then go get it at 10. It's just not happening. That just seems wild to me.
And so, like, here's a decent comparison, right? Is 1984 Star Jordan, because Card Ladder has autograph. Okay, so like, look, there's two types. You got this. You got the 1984 Star Flight School autograph card. Okay, which is a really sick card.
I actually really like that one.
Yeah, this is sick, and this is cool because these weren't pack issued either. So let's just go ahead and use these for the autographs. So you've got that, and then you've got the non-autograph version, which is a neat card as well. Just such a red card. So
Dude, I just love those like more organic in-game photo shots, and I just love it.
So look, the blue line is the autograph BGS 85 Auto 10, and the green line is the base card. And so there's the price differential is about 91K to about 35K. So there's about a 3x multiplier enjoyed by the autograph card.
Yeah. I mean, you made this. We talked about like how people don't really want the autograph card, but there's definitely exceptions. Like Michael Jordan, Mickey Mantle, these are exceptions. These guys are, and especially like because those are base cards and they're like fairly easy to attain. If you have an autograph on something like that, it does add some value to it, and people want stuff like that. It's just like a very rare exception.
Yeah, well, and what it says to me is that 84 star Jordan, the base version of it, it does not have much demand because look, the PSA does not grade these, so we are only going to look at BGS. Yet. The 8.5 has a population of 245, okay? The BGS 8.5 is pop 245. The BGS 9 is pop 72, and the BGS 9.5 is pop 3. All right? So BGS 8.5 and higher is a smaller population than PSA 10 of the 86 Flair.
Yeah.
But
Dude.
You can get the 8.5 for 30 grand. So it's just nobody, the pricing of that card is, undervalued.
The 9.5 estimate, show that again. Card ladder. 800,000.
The card ladder estimated value for the BGS 9.5 is $820,000. The last sold is $52.5K in February of 2015.
If someone asked me the value on the 9.5, I'd be like, and they're like, oh, how do you feel about the card ladder value that you show? I'm like, I feel pretty good.
Yep.
So, I mean, it seems about right to me. Especially anything Michael Jordan and LeBron, I feel pretty good about because our indexes are so big on those.
Yep.
That, we're confident in the way that we've built the index model that at this point, the goal should be to build out indexes for all the players.
Yep.
As much as the sales history feature is really cool, don't get it twisted that the main value we provide is the really in-depth card ladder profiles for all the cards in our system, and because the individual card profiles are very in-depth, they're very engaging and fun to look at, the graphs, all the work you guys put into the individual cards, but the indexes, building the indexes and making those stronger and deeper and better, huge.
I agree. And so look, sales history just kind of gives us the opportunity to it makes the indexes even more important, is basically what that comes down to, right? It's the sales history.
It needs it. It depends on it.
They both work quite harmoniously together. The library version of Card Ladder and the sales history data dump version of Card Ladder.
Let me put it to you this way. The Card Ladder profiles and the vetted sales is the most important data set in the entire hobby.
Yeah. 100%.
It's the actual core of what Card Ladder is the vetted sales of the Card Ladder profiles of the 21,000 cards. I'll put that data set up against anything in the hobby. It's the most curated, knowledgeable, set of human eyes that have put into that, and the care that's been put into that is unmatched. So, whether we use that, we could use that for, dude, you've said it, we could use that data set for research studies at MIT. If anyone wants to study the economic market of cards, all they have to do is grab that data set. It's the most valuable thing in the hobby.
Yep. Right on, buddy. Okay.
Well, this is where you say the tech built by Card Ladder.
Oh, live looking at
Oh, what?
Oh man, Josh left as we're down to the final 3 questions that all pertain to the same topic. And I know Josh isn't going to want to miss these 3 questions. So we'll wait and we'll filibuster a bit here. I'll scroll up. Okay, so Ginger Ells says, didn't that come out as a team set? Who wants that? It did. They came out in team bags. 84 star was issued as team bags, but that does not prevent them from being NBA licensed. They're still NBA licensed. It's Michael Jordan's first NBA licensed trading card. But I hear you. It didn't come out. It was not pack issued. So that's the big knock against it. But the 86 Fleer isn't perfect either. The 86 Fleer is pack issued, but it's not during his rookie year. So I remember I used to own a PSA 7 86 Fleer Jordan. And I showed it to my uncle, and I said, look, this is Michael Jordan's rookie card. And he was like, what do you mean it's his rookie card? Didn't he come into the league before 1986? And it's that's a big, that's the other side of the 86 Fleer coin. So,
Dude,
All right.
if anyone just says the words live look to me, I'm just gonna start bursting out laughing.
we'll probably get some live looks at the Super Bowl. So,
All right, I'm ready.
All
I
right.
could hear everything you're saying. Give me the final
Yeah.
3.
good. Okay, so the final 3. So Card Insights 2 says, please discuss your story post, a true hobby inspiration, keep grinding until you make it. Offlix says, you built a hobby startup and it was purchased by Collectors Universe, but do you feel like you actually made it? And Fair Trade CCM says, since he's making the rounds, are we going to see the sports card investor on the crossover anytime soon?
No,
Okay.
no, hard stop.
So first of all, I just think that, that little clip where the sports card investor is explaining that he has so much money, an amazing house, great job. Did he say job?
No,
And
Wife.
great wife,
Family.
great family.
great family.
Beautiful wife.
But he just does not feel like he ever made it. I just think is such a healthy mindset, and he's just a hobby icon. And I want to see him make it one day. So I just encourage him, and I hope that he's able to make his way in the industry.
I second that. Not just in the industry, but in life. I really hope that one day he makes it.
One day.
He has a far journey ahead of him, but one day he too can make it and be somebody.
Lord willing.
Yeah, God willing.
Lord willing.
Praying
I feel like
to Jesus.
we're ready for another live look
Wow. I was
at the headquarters.
actually
Live look at
no. So something happened the other day that I referenced earlier in the podcast. So one thing that we've done on Card Ladder is we've added Marvel Universe cards. We have 422
But
apparently.
that's also gonna pull in net. You gotta mark
Oh,
net
that's gonna
and
pull in net.
football cards. You should probably filter it to only.
Only entertainment. But why filter when I can Boolean? Okay, I'm more of a Boolean guy.
It's not gridiron, but
You know what?
it's just called marbles in the football set. So you gotta minus off domino.
All right, I'm filtering. God,
yeah. Just click that big button. Oh, look how easy that was.
that was easy.
Oh,
All right.
easy.
So look, a project that we've been working on is adding Marvel cards, and they're really cool. And so we added a bunch of Marvel cards, and then Nick on our YouTube channel made a video. So let me show you the video that Nick made. Nick made a nice card ladder video to help, spread the awareness about the fact that we're now tracking Marvel cards, which is something that our users have been asking us for months, and that we finally did. And then here's what happens, right? So a few hours later,
Hours, not days.
hours later, a competitor makes a post that, guess what? They're tracking Marvel cards too now, and using this is pretty much a ripoff of ours. So here's actually what they posted to their Instagram account a little bit later on the same day. So I just look at the end of the day, I just want them to keep putting out inspirational content, keep innovating in the hobby, try not to sniff our undies too much, and just
You keep trying to make it.
keep
One
trying,
day,
keep pushing,
You too could be somebody.
keep on pushing.
I'm gonna keep grinding until I get to that point, but until then, I'm gonna have to keep. I'm just here. My house is modest. My car is bad. My beachfront property is poor. I gotta keep grinding.
Gotta keep grinding.
My backyard. I just basically look at desert. There's no water. The beach is not visible. The sunsets are bad.
Mm.
I just
Yep. I mean, it's what
you're getting a
70
live look at my life. Me and my playing house. Look at this place. What a dump, right?
It's
Dump.
what that's just one day, man. You never feel like you actually made it, and you just might one day. So we got through all the questions, man. We were really
You were worried.
I was worried. We were pedal to the metal at the very beginning. Like I was flying through questions, and to be
We
honest,
spent like 30 minutes giggling about trash cans, and we still made it.
we earned it. We earned it. We earned that moment.
You know, it was a long week, okay, guys? Like,
It was a long week, but look, and so like I spent about an hour gathering questions, and I actually didn't gather enough. So I left about 15 on the table. So because I thought there was no way we could get through all those questions, but we were going at like a question a minute there. So we even got through
your 30-second description of how the Porzingis trade went down.
My very brief recap of Porzingis.
Oh, I love this show so much.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like that's a nice note to end the show on. Good episode. And we'll be back with Sports Cards Culture episodes soon too. Just we're extra busy right now with training and stuff. So but we'll be back with those too. So
give the fans one last live look at the crossover.
The crossover, like I'll give you I actually have my production notes for the show that I prepared. I prepared notes every week.
yeah, you did.
You see me prepare the notes.
I know. You spent hours before.
Here is actually the notes for this week's show. So here's the pre-production.
Oh, you've outdone yourself, sir. An actual trash can.
All right, see you guys next week.
Card Ladder, the best sports card app on the market. The future of sports cards is here. Card Ladder is the 21st century price guide and market analysis tool for sports cards. The best tools to help you track your cards. Watch the trends, stay informed, compare cards, and track the growth of your personal collection, all in one simple and intuitive platform. Join the innovators, not the imitators. The future is here. The future is now. Card Ladder.